you look all-seater, Wembley Stadium is a sellout. The Zenith Data Systems Cup has truly arrived, and you'll see every moment of it live on Sky. Hello, good afternoon to you and welcome from Wembley Stadium. What a picture it is behind me, as you can see. The Zenith Data Systems Cup final, Chelsea and Middlesbrough, the contestants. Chelsea first up, the Southern Aristocrats riding high in the First Division, and Middlesbrough, the Northern Heroes, the underdogs on their first trip to Wembley. And how they love it. Look at these scenes. They've come en masse from the northeast. 35,000 of them at least by car, coach and train, many of them leaving at the crack of dawn this morning to make it. Matt Lorenzo has been down among them. Do they think it's worth it?
1990, already the year of the sporting underdog. If Douglas can beat Tyson, if England can beat the West Indies, if Sheffield Wednesday can win a match, then why can't Middlesbrough beat the favourites here this afternoon?
Got every chance. They're going to win. They're going to win.
What makes you so confident?
Because I'm there every week and I know they're going to win. We got them beaten. We're just confident. We're the army. We look after the army.
It's something of a party for you, isn't it, today?
Sorry?
Something of a party for you today.
Most definitely is, yeah.
When did the party start?
About 6 o'clock this morning. For us, I'm so curious, starting about Friday night for everybody else. We'll be here all weekend.
Tomorrow morning.
Till next weekend.
Does this really look as if we're underdogs? Just look around you. Look at all the red and white around there. Are we underdogs? No chance.
When did you come down?
This morning! Straight away, as soon as we got up. Yeah.
And you going back with the cup?
Yeah. Too right we are! Too right! Too right!
What's the score going to be?
3-2! 3-2! 3-2!
Couple for Bernie Slaven?
Yes! Yeah.
Okay, well, you've also got a secret weapon up your sleeve in the form of your own private bugler. Let's have a blast from Lee. Today, Middlesbrough is virtually deserted. Everyone has moved down south. Of those who are left, the ones with Sky dishes are going to be very popular indeed. All week, the souvenir business has been booming. T-shirts, drinking mugs, even the obligatory record, Boro's going to Wembley. The local baker certainly doesn't think Boro's hopes are pie in the sky. Tickets are all sold. No one's going to miss the big day, especially Alice Coppinger. She's 93 and she's planning a special celebration.
Come home and thank God. Said everyone, if I might get drunk if they win tonight. No, I'll just be very, very happy for the team because they've worked hard. We've been unfortunate, but they can do it.
Well, there's one lady who's waited 93 years for Boro to get to a Wembley final, nearly as long as Boro themselves. There'll be some hearts broken if they don't win this afternoon.
Thanks, Matt. Won't be for the want of trying. With me here in the studio, Lawrie McMemory once again. Lawrie, welcome. The fans, many of them from your part of the world, of course.
Yes.
It's fantastic to see the glory being spread around a bit, isn't it?
Well, it's a great day, and I mean, anybody that says it wasn't a big cup should be here today, because it's every player's ambition and manager's ambition to walk out that tunnel, and even Alice would love to be here. You see how it means so much to so many people, and inevitably the sun's shining. We've had rain and hailstones even on the way in here, but you watch, as soon as they come out that tunnel, the sun will shine.
The emotional factor, we saw a Scotland rugby team lifted through the roof at Murrayfield because of the emotion that the crowd lifted them with. Can this Boro crowd do the same thing
It means so much to people, you see, and Chelsea's supporters as well. It just, on the day, they're the biggest clubs in Britain because they're the only two that are at Wembley. And that's where everybody wants to be. And I think we'll see good behaviour as well. You can just see that they're so happy to be here and to be part of it. And I'm a bit worried about the bugle player, like, because 6 police horses started to charge down the pitch when he sounded that charge there. But it's great. I mean, it just makes you wonder where they all go when league matches are on. 35,000, but they are saying this is good for the town.
No doubt they deserve it.
It's an integral part of the community, and let's hope they all have a great day.
OK, we've followed them on Sky TV ever since we started on the road with the Zenith Data Cup back, at the beginning of January. Some memorable moments as Boro went on the way to Wembley. Aston Villa in the Northern Final, for example.
Bounce straight back again. The header, oh! It's gone in! Slaven was in there. Driven through, oh, what a goal! Magnificent goal! Slaven has done it. It'll fall for Kerr. It's there!
This week, Boro have been relaxing in the peace of the Devon countryside, preparing for the club's first ever Wembley final. They're forgetting their relegation worries. The team talk now is all of Chelsea.
I mean, they're in a tremendous position in the league. Fourth, I think, the line in the league, and they're going extremely well. But if you look at our performances in the Zenith Cup, we have matched anybody. And if we can take that performance into the final, then I think we're in for a hell of a good game, an attacking game of football.
Yes, Colin Todd's the Boro manager now, replacing Bruce Rioch since the victories over Aston Villa. And Todd's handling the Wembley build-up very carefully. Country walks and a spot of golf. Let's just hope the keeper, Stephen Pears, gets closer to the ball today. Oh! Jack Nicklaus clearly doesn't have to start thinking about a new career just yet. Lawrie, you've done it here at Wembley, leading a team out as underdogs in a cup final to win it. How did Middlesbrough do it today?
Well, I believe that it's possible. That's the main thing, and they forget all the hype, and the important thing is that they've got to enjoy the occasion. The dressing rooms are 4 times bigger than they ever sit in. Everybody's got a bath. The tunnel's longer than anyone will ever walk up. There's more people here than they've ever played in front of before. Somebody is going to shake the hand. There's all sorts of officials running around, all get in on the act. But at 3 o'clock, or whatever time the kick-off is, they've got to remember it is a game of football, 11 against 11, and it is possible for them to win. OK. All they've got to worry about afterwards is Chelsea. They're the team coming out of the other dressing room. After this break, we'll be meeting Chelsea and finding how they got to Wembley. See you in a sec.
In April, the movies keep coming on Sky Movies. Bette Midler and Lily Tomlin.
God, it's me with a bad haircut.
Big Business.
You're a knight of the round table.
Monty Python and the Holy Grail. A man ahead of his time. The true story of jazz legend Bird. Brian Dennehy and James Woods. Bestseller.
I'm your fairy godmother.
Ali Sheedy in the hilarious comedy Made to Order.
I'm sorry.
A cold-blooded killer on the loose.
My God.
Rampage.
I wish I were big.
Tom Hanks's wish comes true.
I'm 13 years old.
Oh, and who is it?
Big.
I kidnapped Harold.
Albert Finney. Orphans.
You're an amateur. A rank amateur.
Michael Keaton.
We're gonna have some laughs.
Beetlejuice. Steven Spielberg's masterpiece, Empire of the Sun. Sky Movies, the best movies on television, in April and throughout the year.
KP, the #1 nut. Why settle for less? Less.
At British Gas, we realise that just now balancing the family budget may be a bit tricky. Winter bills tend to be on the heavy side, whereas in summer, they're much lighter. So we have easy payment plans that can spread out the cost of your gas bills evenly through the year. And if you ever have a really big problem with your gas bill, contact your gas showroom and we'll do our level best to sort that out for you too.
There she is, kids.
Wow, you were cute back then.
Oh, thanks, Bri. I think.
Now I see why you married Willie. You were dizzy. Yikes! Hey, where'd you get that shirt?
It was the 60s, Alf. Those clothes made a statement.
Yeah, I dress in the dark.
Monday at 7 on Sky One, man. Good vibes with Alf.
Welcome back to Wembley, Zenith Data Systems Cup final, Chelsea against Middlesbrough. We've met Middlesbrough. They're pretty confident, the underdogs. But what about Chelsea? Time now to take a look in a little more detail at them. Made easy progress to the final. Here's how they did it.
10 minutes of the first half to go. Wilson with Dixon. Oh, good effort, and it's there! Oh, that's a cracking goal by Kerry Dixon. The Palace players will need some lifting now if they're to haul themselves back into this cup final, the Southern Area final, the Zenith Cup. And there's number 2 from Wilson. Jury. He's on his own for the moment. Still Jury. Almost squeezed in. Now it has. And Bumstead has got it. Jury's pass. Oh, he's through. And it's another one for Chelsea.
Paul wraps it up for Chelsea against Crystal Palace. Many of these men are old hands getting to Wembley. Remember, they were here just a couple of years ago when they beat Manchester City. We've been with them today, just a few minutes ago, in fact, as they arrived at Wembley. Here they are now on the way to Wembley.
It's a great thing for the club. I mean, all of us to be there is tremendous, and I mean, it could give our whole season a new boost.
Well, obviously we're very pleased. All the lads have been looking forward to it ever since we've qualified, and we're all hoping it's going to be a great day, and we hope all our fans and everyone connected with Chelsea Football Club enjoys themselves.
Wouldn't like to predict the score. I think it'd be a very difficult game, and you know, I'd like to think that we'd come away with a win, but we just have to wait and see.
Well, we're all delighted to be reaching Wembley. We started this tournament halfway through the season. We've played 5 or 6 rounds. I think we've played 4 or 5 of them away from home. So it hasn't been an easy one. The boys have applied themselves, and they've got the just rewards by achieving a cup final at Wembley. No matter what cup final it is, it's always a great thrill and a great joy for any footballer to be going to Wembley.
I think that's what they mean when they talk about teams being relaxed but determined. Lawrie, they start as favourites.
Yes.
Pressure on them?
Rightly so, favourites. A lot of experience in the team. They're going very well in the first division. They've slid into 3rd or 4th position now, and they can be totally relaxed. I was in the dressing room about 10 minutes before we went on air, and they do look relaxed, and Bobby Campbell is enjoying every minute. Bobby's had his ups and downs over the years, but it's a good indication of the strength of the club. You know, they got promoted only last year, and the chairman, who, very controversial man, Ken Bates, said Bobby Campbell has got a job for life with this club.
People say in the background something of a grudge match here. Boro knocked Chelsea down into Division 2 in the playoffs 2 years ago. Is that still in the minds of some of the Chelsea players?
That won't be in the minds of professionals. The professionals will concentrate everything on today. You might get some supporters who think that way, and it would be nice for them to win because of that. But there's more reasons to win than just that. That was a sad day because there was problems off the pitch then. But they're back in the 1st division. If they wanted any sort of reward that way, Middlesbrough, unfortunately, are back in the 2nd, and they're near the top of the 1st.
And they've had their problems as well with Colin Todd taking over from Bruce.
Well, Colin wasn't a problem. Colin is an excellent man. I mean, I tried to sign him. He's one of the few players I wanted and didn't sign, actually. But he's carried on under the staff side of the game. The man I feel sorry for is Bruce Rioch. It's a comparison in clubs again. He was with that club when they had the bailiffs in. They couldn't get in the front door. The locks were on. And the directors have got short memories in a lot of football clubs. Bobby Campbell has been given a job for life because they got promoted. What did Bruce Rioch do? He rescued the club from extinction, and he's brought them from extinction to Wembley. You kind of get such a big trip in that. And yet, with about 1/3 of the season left, they turn and say, oh, we think we might get relegated. On you go, Bruce. No, they've probably paid his contract up and everything, but that doesn't wash their hands or solve their conscience. That man should be walking out the tunnel today, and when they've all got a lump in their throat, all those directors, I hope they've got a little tear in their eye as well for the fella that should be leading them out. They should be blushing a little bit today.
OK, obviously some personal feeling there, Lawrie. Thanks very much indeed.
More from you on behalf of all
during the game and at half-time. We'll be hearing from you again. Before we concentrate totally on Wembley, hard to move thoughts anywhere else, but there is a very big sporting event going on just across the Atlantic Ocean in Trinidad, West Indies against England. Live and exclusive coverage for now, when the third day gets underway from Port of Spain on Sky News channel, first of all, and then at the finish of this game here, we'll be picking up the live action again on Sky One. Just to remind you, England resuming 189 for 2, about, we reckon, to build a big first innings lead. We'll see. Here at Wembley, all is set for a magnificent cup final. We'll hand you now to our commentary team, Ron Atkinson, Sheffield Wednesday manager, and first of all, our match commentator, Peter Brackley.
Thank you, Paul. And as the teams await to emerge from the tunnel, I wonder around the country how many players would willingly swap places with the men who are going to contest this final today. There are those who feel that Wembley should be the preserve of FA Cup finals and internationals. But you try saying that to the players of Middlesbrough and Chelsea who battled through and who might not perhaps otherwise have the chance to sample this unique atmosphere. And it really is a marvellous atmosphere inside the stadium. Tremendous roar when both teams came out a little while ago, especially from Middlesbrough. Their fans, as we were hearing, have travelled down for the last couple of days, really. Some have made the trip this morning, but others have spent a couple of nights down in London. And, of course, the players themselves have been relaxing down in the West Country, preparing themselves for this big day. The first time ever that Middlesbrough have reached a Wembley final. And Chelsea, well, their supporters perhaps a little more relaxed. They won the first full Members' Cup, as it was then, back in '86, Chelsea. They're hoping to repeat that success this year. Managed by Bobby Campbell, the man who's so well respected in the game. He's never been here as a coach or a player, so it's a marvellous occasion for him too. And these were the thoughts that he had on walking out at Wembley, the Chelsea manager, Bobby Campbell.
I liken it like, I mean, I've got a son at 24. I've got 4 kids. I've got one at 24, and I've got one at 4 years of age. When you have children and you're younger, you really, what's to that? You know, it's no difficulty. But when you have them when you're older, you appreciate them more and you look after them more. And I think that's how I look upon this. It's been a long time coming, and we've all worked very hard for it, and it tastes nice.
It tastes nice. The thoughts of Bobby Campbell, the manager of Chelsea, whose mother is in the crowd today, 86-year-old, and she's over by the Royal Box, we're told. We'll be looking out for her later on. Well, Ron Atkinson alongside me here. Your thoughts on Bobby Campbell, a man who is so well respected in the game, and what it's going to mean for him today.
Yes, well, very often when you come into football, let alone management, you dream of going into a cup final. And as Bobby said, it's taken him a long time to be there, but he's there. He'll enjoy it. He comes out with probably the hottest favourites, I would guess, since Leeds played against Sunderland. That would be the size of Middlesbrough's task, I would think, if they caused an upset. They'll cause the biggest upset in my book, certainly since Sunderland turned Leeds over.
Well, Ron, you've been down in that tunnel. How nervous is everybody feeling at the moment, do you think?
Strangely enough, I don't think you do feel nervous. I mean, the first time I did it, I look forward to it very much so, and it's something you anticipate, and it's something you enjoy and savour. But Lawrie McMemory made the point, once the whistle blows, once they're over the white line, it is really a football match, and it is about winning.
Well, there's the man in charge today, Roger Milford from Bristol. He'll be the referee with his 2 linesmen there. And behind him then the 2 teams. Chelsea led out by Bobby Campbell. And Tony Mowbray is leading out Middlesbrough. Tony Mowbray, the man who misses the final through injury. Everyone feeling so sad for him. I think at first he was very reluctant to take on this task. He said he'd feel embarrassed by it. But he's obviously had a change of heart. And my word, he looks pleased, Ron.
Yes, I think psychologically that might be a good thing for Middlesbrough. A nice gesture by Colin Todd. Obviously, everybody regrets Bruce Rioch not being there, but that's a good gesture, and I would guess a very, very good psychological point. I mean, Mowbray is the leader of the pack, sort of thing, and has been since they came from the 3rd to the 1st.
Well, this was the view of Colin Todd. He was saying that Tony Mowbray has been the cornerstone of Middlesbrough in recent years, and he deserved to be out there. And then obviously it was the final decision that Tony Mowbray was to lead out Middlesbrough on this famous day in the club's history. And just look at the support that Middlesbrough have here at Wembley. 34,000 tickets easily sold. And there's Colin Todd, the new manager of Middlesbrough, just 2 weeks ago. He was the assistant to Bruce Rioch. Alongside him there, another old England favourite, David Nish. A cracking atmosphere around the stadium as the two teams prepare to meet the guest of honour today, Joe Solari, who's the president of Zenith Data Systems Europe. He's an American football fan. I don't know what his interests are in English football, but I'm sure he's going to enjoy this occasion today. He's a fan of the Chicago Bears, I'm told. The players just limbering up in readiness for the presentation.
He'll be a bit disappointed Graham Roberts isn't playing them on.
Graham Roberts, I'm told, is here today. The player coach who's had his disagreements with Chelsea is out injured anyway. So Graham will be part of the day, but sadly for him, not part of the side. Tony Mowbray will be introducing the Middlesbrough players to Joe Solari. And he is also there, Bill Fox, president of the Football League too. And this competition really has come on in leaps and bounds, and we're all indebted to Zenith for their contribution this season. Mark Proctor is the captain of Middlesbrough today in the absence of Mowbray on the field. Paul Kerr, one of the substitutes for Middlesbrough. Bernie Slaven, he's going to be a key man up front, and also Stuart Ripley back in the side. There's Peter Davenport. And the goalkeeper, Stephen Pears. Always a nerve-wracking occasion for goalkeepers. And there really is a fantastic noise around the stadium. As Joe Solari and Bill Fox make their way across to the Chelsea team. Chelsea captained by Peter Nicholas, the Welsh international. There's Dave Besant, goalkeeper, of course, for Wimbledon back in 1988 when they shocked the football world by beating Liverpool. And one of the men behind the emergence of the Full Members' Cup is Ken Bates, the Chelsea chairman. So a proud day for him to see his team back at Wembley. An outspoken man, but one who loves his football. There's referee Roger Milford. I was talking to Roger beforehand, and he was really intending to soak up the atmosphere and hopefully keep a tight ship too. Kerry Dixon, who missed out on the full members final back in '86 because of injury, says his ambition is to score a goal at Wembley. He hasn't done so far. He also not only missed that game, but failed to score in his only England appearance here against Northern Ireland when a chap called Pat Jennings defied him on quite a few occasions. So the two teams break to their respective ends. Middlesbrough to our right, Chelsea to our left. And the sun shining brightly down now on Wembley. So let's go through then the two teams for you. Here's the Chelsea lineup. In goal, Dave Besant. Memories revived then for him of the 1988 FA Cup final. He was the first goalkeeper to captain a cup final team here. Across the back, Gareth Hall, the Welsh international, who's keeping out Scotland's Steve Clarke. Clarke is fit again, but Gareth Hall has got the vote. In the middle, Erland Johnson of Norway, Kenneth Montcow of Holland, and England international Tony Dorigo on the left. Three in midfield, Kevin McAllister, the man who's been playing so well lately, and two experienced men alongside him in the engine room, John Bumstead and Peter Nicholas. Bumstead, who played in the Full Members' Cup winning side of '86, And Nicholas, for all his years in the game, featuring in his first Wembley final. And the three men up front, Kerry Dixon, Gordon Urie and Kevin Wilson. Dixon and Wilson 18 goals apiece, and Urie well on the way back to his sharpest form. Well, now a look at the Middlesbrough side. The goal for them will be Stephen Pears. Full recovery by him from the injury that kept him out earlier in the season. Across the back, Gary Parkinson, Alec Kernahan, replacing the injured Tony Mowbray, Simon Coleman, the man who started in so well in place of Gary Pallister, now with Manchester United, of course. And at left back, Colin Cooper, another who's fit again after a lengthy layoff. In midfield, young Owen McGee, just 19 years old. What a day for him. 3 months ago, he was playing reserve team football. Alongside him, Mark Proctor. He'll be the Middlesbrough captain then. Mark Brennan and Peter Davenport. And the two up front, Stuart Ripley, restored to the side with Ian Baird cup-tied. And Bernie Slaven, what a threat he'll pose to Chelsea. 25 goals for Middlesbrough so far this season. Here's the referee then, Roger Milford from Bristol, experienced referee. He took charge of the Littlewoods Cup final last season. And has also refereed the final of the Sherpa Van Trophy as it was then. Well, we've had hail and rain, but now we have sunshine, although a little cloudy over part of the pitch here anyway, a shadow below the stand here. As the formalities continue before the kick-off. Well, Ron Atkinson, we've had the year of the underdog so far with the likes of Tyson, the England cricket team, Desert Orchid beaten. Can it happen again today?
Of course it can happen. It can happen, particularly if Middlesbrough play the way they did as we saw them against Aston Villa when, from the word go, they set out to close down Aston Villa's style of play. Worked extremely hard all over the pitch. And that's what they'll have to do today. Can it happen? It's certainly the task is formidable. Chelsea playing as well as anyone in the first division at the moment.
Well, they might need a goal or two from Bernie Slaven. What about him as a prospect there?
Yes, well, I mean, Bernie Slaven always seems to weigh in with a goal, but so does the fellow that's just about to kick off, Kerry Dixon. So we've got some good goal scorers on the pitch.
And nice to see so many smiles around Wembley. I think everyone has come here determined to enjoy the occasion, and we hope that you will too at home, watching this final of the Zenith Cup live on Sky. It'll be Chelsea in the all-blue strip to kick off, attacking the goal to our right. Middlesbrough in red shirts and white shorts. Chelsea, who, as we've heard, have had a fairly comfortable passage to the final. Middlesbrough have had to battle all the way, and they intend to let no one down this afternoon. Roger Milford just checking that all is well. A few more nervous seconds here for the players, but at last we're underway. Nicholas for Chelsea. Here's Kevin McAllister. Gareth Hall, perhaps a surprise in some people's eyes that he's in the team ahead of Steve Clark. But Gareth Hall scored in the area final over Crystal Palace, the win over Crystal Palace. And he really has been in outstanding form lately, and Bobby Campbell has given him the nod. I think that raised an eyebrow from you, Ron.
Yes, I must admit, because I've got the highest regard for Clark. Obviously, Bobby Campbell has decided to go along with Hall, as you say, has been playing very well. He certainly played well in the semi-final games against the Palace, and has got a good little understanding with McAllister on the right-hand side of midfield.
80,000 in the stadium. The first all-seater Wembley final. And there's the first touch for Dave Besant. Saved a penalty, of course, in that 1988 FA Cup final win for Wimbledon over Liverpool. An unfortunate miss by John Aldridge. Here's Wilson. I think the balloon got in the way then, but here's Davenport. His skills will be important for Middlesbrough. And as we expected, they pushed Ripley up front with Slaven, with McGee wide on the right-hand side and Davenport probing from the left. Stuart Ripley, who has exceptional pace, There hadn't been a regular in the side since the arrival of Ian Baird, who's cup-tied. Header on was from Dixon. McAllister challenging with Cooper. Way by Kernan. This is Hall. Now Brennan. And the tackle was an unfair one. So free kick to Middlesbrough, whose league form has certainly slipped away since they went through to the final. But they had a morale-boosting success in midweek at Plymouth. And of course their priority is to stay in the second division. Yes, much as they want to win today, in the words of their chairman, this is regarded really as a family wedding, a day out for them. And Tony Mowbray, well, I'm sure everyone is delighted to see him here, even though he's not actually taking part in the game. Proctor to Ripley. And Davenport here in support. Good tackle though by Hall. That will do his confidence no harm. Davenport taking the throw quickly. Ripley trying to squirm away from Hall. And again, that was determined defending from the Welsh international. Brennan. Too long, over the head of Montcow and Slaven. Safely through to Besant, who was hoping to send Wilson away. But composed defending this time from Parkinson. So the two number twos making their early mark. Free header for Buxted. Cooper's pass was a poor one. Off goes Dixon in pursuit. And I wonder how Middlesbrough are going to cope with this threesome up front. Dixon, Wilson and Dury.
Yes, at the moment, Peter, it must be a vote of confidence for Kevin Wilson, who's had a super season. The fact that he's been elected to play as the striker alongside Dixon. And Dury, in fact, he's been asked to play in a very, very wide left-hand side position.
And this is Dury now. Good tackle though by McGee, the 19-year-old. And that was positive enough. Product of the youth training scheme at Ayresome Park. Proctor with the pass, finding Slaven. That's Buxted, biting in with the tackle, and again. They're the two anchor men, Buxted and Nicholas, in the midfield for Chelsea. They're going to win possession for them, as Colin Todd will be only too well aware. And he'll be hoping that marking is tied at the back too on these troublesome Chelsea strikers. Davenport losing out to Hall. Erlen Johnsen, the Norwegian international. No goals so far, 5 minutes into the final of the Zenith Cup. Chelsea against Middlesbrough. These pictures coming to you live on Sky Television. Dixon going through, and he was just beaten at the last end by Kernan. And that was a very important challenge then from the Middlesbrough defender. At full stretch to deny Kerry Dixon. And I think the referee wants to change the ball. Roger Milford isn't happy with that one. So the first substitution of the game is made, and it's to football.
But I think that you saw straight away there, Peter, that Kerry Dixon signalled his intent. He will represent the main threat, as we've seen in other games that Chelsea have played the part in. Middlesbrough, two young central defenders. Coleman's been very impressive in the run-up to the final. He'll need to be bang at his best today.
Here's the corner then, to be taken by Nicholas. Montcow on the near post. It's flicked on by Dixon. Oh! Dury's shot was charged down. Away goes Ripley, but Middlesbrough so nearly conceded a goal then. Dury with the shot after Dixon had headed it on. Middlesbrough breathe again. As Dorigo punts the ball upfield, Kernan underneath it. Under threat though from Dixon, and he's got away from him. And Coleman just managed to steer it back. At my word, Chelsea are testing out these central defenders. Here's the corner again. It was over Montcow. and it's Dixon who flicks it on there, and there's Jury with the shot, and pierced it well.
Sometimes that's the sort of situation that cup matches are won and lost on, and for Mark Stephen Pears, they stood up brave, looked at it all the way. An excellent strike from Jury. A ploy they use an awful lot, the touch on at the front post off a corner by Dixon. Jury finds himself in space.
Davenport to Proctor. Right across the face of the goal, but beyond Ripley, who was in there. Actually, Baxter might have got an injury there. Mark Proctor sliding the ball right across the area, but unfortunately for him, no one on the end of it. And that is captaining Middlesbrough today in the absence of Tony Mowbray, milking the occasion from the sidelines. Coleman's header, Davenport scrapping with McAllister and Jury, who was a little casual then. Jury. Montcal. What an impressive figure he's been, Kenneth Montcal, the Dutchman. Chelsea now playing with 4 at the back rather than with the sweeper system they adopted earlier in the season. And what a contrast in the league positions. Chelsea 5th in Division 1, Middlesbrough right down there, hoping to stave off the threat of relegation in Division 2. McAllister. Now Hall. Too long. The cross was overhit. So respite for Middlesbrough. A rather blustery afternoon and still the occasional fall of rain. I think it's just spitting at the moment.
You mentioned there about John Bumstead, Pete. He certainly hasn't looked happy since that situation when he slid in, and just suspect he may have just tugged at a little hamstring. This isn't the sort of pitch where you want to be running around with pulled muscles.
It's a stamina-sapping surface. The pitch, though, in excellent condition at Wembley. And they do say if you can't play here, you can't play anywhere. Slaven. He's done well, wriggling past. 2 tackles then. And Boro have got players up. Oh, but the pass was well wide of the target then, Davenport.
Actually, the encouraging thing for Middlesbrough would be if they can establish a grip on the game. Their style of play is best suited for playing at Wembley. I mean, they're a passing side. They're not one of these sides that just waft the ball from one end of the field to the other. They do play possession football, and that's the sort of football that normally is successful on this ground.
Dorigo to Montcal. Johnson to Hall. Jury's header, then he finds Parkinson though. He was quickly dispossessed by Kevin Wilson. Dorigo. And they're going to keep a careful eye of Middlesbrough on Dorigo, making his sorties down that left flank. Very much in the reckoning for an England place, Tony Dorigo. But with 10 minutes of the first half gone, it's still 0-0. Chelsea are the closest to a goal so far. The shot from Gordon Jury that was superbly saved by Stephen Pears. Johnson up in search of Dixon, away by Coleman. Not too well though. Bumstead threading it through, and it was little Owen McGee who touched it back to Pears. Owen McGee, who only played his first full game in the area final of the Zenith Cup against Aston Villa. He came in, a shot inclusion at the last minute at Villa Park, and he really excelled himself. And here he is now playing at Wembley. Proctor. Brennan. McGee taking over. And Colin Todd feels his team are a footballing side, and he hopes they can turn on the style here. Bobby Campbell. An old score to settle. It was Middlesbrough, of course, who sent Chelsea down in the 2nd division 2 seasons back when Middlesbrough went up to the 1st. A dramatic playoff situation. So a little bit of revenge on the minds of Chelsea today.
Certainly don't appear to be overawed, do they, Peter? They've come here to enjoy it. They've come here to play their game, which is passing the ball around. And at the moment, it's okay, they've had one hard flutter from Jury's shot, but they've settled down fairly comfortably.
Here's the free kick, and it's Kernahan. And a goal! Oh! Well, I thought it had gone in then from Slaven, and somehow he failed to turn it in. It seemed impossible that he could miss then. Callahan challenging.
Well, the one player you would bet money on in this country, that's his scene, isn't it? Little tap-ins, he anticipated the header from Kernahan. And really, they should be winning the lead now.
Here's the corner taken by Proctor. Back in by Davenport. The whistle's gone, though, for an infringement. But Bernie Slaven then, well, he really should have scored goal number 26. It seemed he just had to score. The free kick was floated over superbly.
Good free kick here. Kernahan's lost his marker. Good free kick. There was a suggestion at one stage of handball on Kerry Dixon. It looks very much. Nicholas has done well, though. Perhaps we didn't give him enough credit in the first place, Peter. Nicholas has done very well to intercept that.
Full marks to Nicholas, who got in just before Slaven by the look of that.
I must confess my initial reaction was that Slaven had miscued it completely.
So some sturdy defensive play then by Peter Nicholas. And both teams now have had a good chance. Here's Jury. Atkinson, though, sticking well to him. And it's a throw to Middlesbrough, whose confidence will be lifted by that near miss. McGee, Parkinson.
They say football's a strange game of fortune. I was just looking through the Middlesbrough team list now. 4 of their side that are playing today were actually playing against our reserve team 2 weeks ago, out of the magic circle, so to speak.
Yes, they are missing Middlesbrough, 1 or 2 more established names. Trevor Putney, I was talking to beforehand, on crutches. I told him he was wearing number 6 today, and he had to look at the programme to make sure that he wasn't. But he's certainly here to enjoy it anyway. Now, what can Chelsea do from this free kick here? Nicholas is there, and Dorigo. Moncau has come up from the back. Dorigo's kick. Coleman didn't really get it away, and it was busted with a shot. Appeals for a penalty. Roger Milford says no. I don't think the defender could get out of the way there. Blasted in. And it's a corner to Chelsea. And you have the feeling that we won't be waiting too long for the first goal in the Zenith Cup final. Nicholas with the kick, didn't reach Moncau. McAllister. Middlesbrough throw. Davenport. And they were backing into him, so a free kick. Peter Davenport, a man you've admired in the past, Ron, and he's had his ups and downs at Middlesbrough, getting in the side today, and they'll be looking for some skillful touches from him. A word on Peter Davenport from Ron in just a moment, as Brennan tries to force his way through. Got away from Hall. Chelsea may not have survived yet. Flags up for offside. Slaven quite clearly off then.
Yes, you've said that, Peter. He has had his up and downs, Peter Davenport, but a very, very skillful player. Good pace, playing in this position on the left-hand side. He's capable on his day, and you know Middlesbrough fans will hope it's there. He's capable of destroying any side single-handed. But immense talent.
You, of course, signed him from Manchester United. He didn't really come off at Old Trafford, did he?
No, he scored about 17 goals in about 35 games, I think. What a nightmare.
Ron, of course, who hasn't made a bad signing now since, what time is it?
And then got $250,000 extra for him. Really bad signing.
McGee to Slaven. I'll teach you to go away on honeymoon and miss a game. Congratulations, Ron, on your wedding, by the way. I know you had a smashing trip.
Yes.
You've come back nice and suntanned.
Didn't miss you, Peter.
Didn't think you would.
For about a second.
Kernahan away. Nicholas for Chelsea. Now here's Davenport. Johnson comfortably there before Bernie Slaven. Well, Lawrie McMemory, watching from the studio, what are your thoughts on the action so far?
I think Middlesbrough have started exceptionally well. They've had the one let-off, and as Ron said, that's the sort of save with the keeper's legs that win or lose cup ties. I was thinking exactly the same thing. And they're certainly not overawed by the occasion. And we've got to remember that they have, with Mark Proctor and Peter Davenport, and of course Bernie Slavin now, good experienced players who can turn a game on their own. And it's a good cup tie now.
And a pretty even one, certainly. Chelsea with that first chance, but Middlesbrough have come bouncing back strongly. And the wind taking that one all the way through to Stephen Pears.
They just get the impression that Chelsea have worked on that in their build-up, that they're not going to be afraid to just hit one or two high balls into the heart of the Middlesbrough defence. Whether they feel with Mowbray missing that there's a certain vulnerability about the younger defenders at Middlesbrough, I don't know. But certainly they look as if they're going to toss a few balls in and test them.
Here's Ripley for Middlesbrough. Slavin, it's quite a week for him. He plays for the Republic of Ireland, his debut in the week against Wales. Although he's a Scot, he has grandparents who are Irish. Dorigo, flicked on by Nicholas, but only to Parkinson. Parkinson was the old man of the back four in that area final at Villa Park. 22 years old, but they had young Nicky Mohan playing as well instead of Mowbray. And McGee was at left back. And Coleman's not exactly a veteran. Here's Parkinson now to Proctor. Vastly more experienced, of course, Mark Proctor. Slavin's tackle, and they're setting about their task with a real panache of Middlesbrough. Moncau. Dorigo. He has Hall in space here. Now for Johnson. Nicholas. Perhaps he hadn't seen them, but Jury was down. Roger Milford certainly had, and he's signalling for attention. So on comes physio Bob Ward to attend to Gordon Durie. He's had so many problems, Gordon Durie, with injury this season. In fact, Bobby Campbell was saying he missed so many matches they called him Shergar. Let's hope it's not too serious here. Gordon Durie, who's such a valuable player, of course, for Chelsea. 24 years old now, and very much in the thinking of Scotland manager Andy Roxburgh for the World Cup. And he scored the only goal for Chelsea anyway in the match against Middlesbrough in those playoffs. Middlesbrough having won the first leg 2-0, and Chelsea managing only the one goal in reply. But they can ill afford to lose him, Ron. Gordon Durie.
No, he is, as you say, a super player. Not had the best fortunes this season with injury. What they have got, they've got an excellent replacement. In fact, if Clive Wilson has to come on, which it doesn't look as if he's going to do. But if Clive Wilson does come on, at least he's a natural left-sided player who will slot into his position automatically.
And of course, when Durie was out injured, Clive Wilson was in the side, playing on the left side of midfield, with Kevin Wilson and Dixon pushed up front. But hopefully Durie's okay. Almost now at the halfway point in the first half. Don't think Durie knows that at the moment. Or does he? No, he seems okay. Well, let's hope so. He was certainly winded.
It's an interesting statistic. I don't think you see too many players come off in cup finals either.
He'll be very anxious to stay on. And what an excellent start we've had to this game. Chances at both ends. But so far, the Zenith final without a goal. Johnson cleared it. On then from Kevin Wilson, trying to find Dixon. Here's McAllister. Now Gordon Durie and Kevin Wilson. They continued his run here. He has McAllister and Dixon in the middle. Blocked by Kernahan, and it came off Kevin Wilson. So a goal kick to Middlesbrough.
Yeah, that's more the style I'd like to see Chelsea adopting. That's their best little pocket of football they've played since the start of the game, I think. Some bright interchanging between Durie, Wilson and McAllister, and some good accurate passing.
Kevin Wilson, who's just signed a new 2-year extension to his existing contract, so he'll be with the club really for the rest of his career.
See, one of the things as well, Peter, that will be getting to Chelsea, that they know they're red-hot favourites. They've been here before. Everyone except the Middlesbrough fans expect them to win. If the game was to go like this and Middlesbrough would continually knock the ball about and gain a fair bit of possession and keep picking at them, then there's a fair chance, you know, the Chelsea boys might just get frustrated and might start doing things that perhaps are not natural to their way of playing.
What do you think's going through the mind of Colin Todd at the moment, the man who's come in at the last moment, really, just 2 weeks in charge of Middlesbrough? How do you think he's feeling down there on the bench?
I think he'd be very, very happy. I mean, he's had the one little flutter when Jury's had the shot Stephen Pears has blocked. In a funny way, that works for you. You sit there and think, well, maybe it might be our day.
And it certainly pepped them up. Colin Todd can't keep still down on the bench. Bobby Campbell, well, he's seen Chelsea get off to a very promising start with an effort from Jury, but since then Middlesbrough have battled their way back into the game. And not much between the two sides at this stage.
Yes, in actual fact, what Middlesbrough have done very, very well is they've taken the heat out of the game a little bit. Whereas Chelsea want to be continually raiding, continually attacking, continually servicing Dixon and Wilson and providing crosses and chances for them. They've really restricted them at the moment.
Dorigo all the way back to Dave Besant. On from Dixon, off goes McAllister. And he was fouled then by Colin Cooper. McAllister, who was on the transfer list, McAllister earlier in the season. But he's won the vote of Bobby Campbell. Although I think he is actually still on the list, it does seem that he has a future at Chelsea after all. And here's McAllister now. In towards Wilson. Davenport to tidy up for Middlesbrough. Defensive duties this time for Peter Davenport. But Middlesbrough will be hoping that he can make an impact at the other end too. The sun's out, but it's raining now. So we really have sampled all forms of weather here today. But the crowd aren't too worried about that. They're enjoying the Zenith Cup final. Tremendous following from Middlesbrough. They were so excited when they got through to the final. And when the tickets went on sale, there were long queues outside Ayresome Park. Teesside on tour, there you are. And they've come down really on like family holidays. Might be a few absentees from work tomorrow, Ron.
You just get the impression as well, funnily enough, that the Middlesbrough fans possibly can't believe they're here. I'm sure if their side were to give them a goal to really cling to, then you wouldn't half hear some Geordie voices.
Montcow to Johnson. The Chelsea fans trying to urge their team forward now. Bumstead to Hall. Johnson had continued his progress down the middle, and Chelsea have won the free kick. 20 minutes to the first half to go. Might be a chance for Nicholas to blast one in from here. Johnson is there too, and Tony Dorigo as well, who's got a pretty powerful shot. Middlesbrough have all 10 outfield players back defending this free kick. Roger Milford making sure that wall is a requisite distance away. 5 in the wall. It's Dorigo. Oh, it's a goal! Pears got a hand to it, but he couldn't keep it out. And Tony Dorigo has blasted Chelsea into the lead. Pears is furious with himself, and he'll certainly be disappointed. He got a hand to it. Dorigo struck it well, but Pears couldn't draw it out.
Yes, do you give the credit to Dorigo for a lovely swerving shot, or maybe just, as you say, maybe just say to Stephen Pearce, possibly ought to have done better, son?
I think he felt so, Ron, didn't he?
Yes, I think so. He got a good hand on the ball, good shot, good struck shot. There was a little dummy just beforehand from Johnson that may just have thrown Pearce slightly, but he'll be a bit disappointed with Stephen Pearce that he hasn't palmed that one over at least.
So 25 minutes gone, and Chelsea, the First Division side, are in front against Middlesbrough. And this will test the character now of the Second Division side. Tony Dorigo, the goal scorer for Chelsea, doesn't score all that often. That's his 4th of the season and his 1st in this competition. The Australian who's made his name in English football, Stephen Pears, well, I reckon he's going to be disappointed. He's certainly got a hand to it, and he could only palm it behind him into the goal. Kernahan under threat from Dixon. On the balance of play, Middlesbrough a little unfortunate to be behind. Can they come back now? Well, this is jury for Chelsea. Unbeaten in 8 matches now, Chelsea. Wilson. So their confidence was high coming into the game. And now they have the fillip of the first goal.
Yes, I think the all-important thing now for Middlesbrough is that they just stay steady. The last thing they can afford now is to concede another goal, because basically that would put Chelsea right in the driving seat. There's a long time to go yet, Peter. If they can just keep pegging away, playing their own game, working at it, there's still hope for them. They can still come back from that.
Lawrie McMemory, watching from the studio, would you share our feeling then? Pears was disappointed with that.
Yes, my position is right behind the goal, in fact, and I agree with Ronnie. The keeper will be disappointed because don't forget he had a wall up which could take responsibility for most of the goal to his left-hand side, and he was at full stretch, wasn't he, really? He could have done with being a yard to his right before the ball was struck. Having said that, if one of the Brazilians scores one of them here next Wednesday night against England, we'll all be raving about the quality of the delivery. So let's not take it away from Dorigo, but a great disappointment to Middlesbrough. And as Ron said, they've just got to be patient now and not go forward too quickly and too early, because Chelsea have got some wily people up front who will be willing to get a second, and if that comes, well, then it could make it out of their reach.
McGee with a cross in towards Bertie Slaven, and Bessett had to tip it over the top, with Slaven marauding just behind him.
In actual fact, on the occasions, we've just seen one again there, when Middlesbrough do attack, when Middlesbrough do put stuff in the penalty area, the Chelsea defence looks a little bit shaky.
Brennan with the corner. Bessett started to come forward and didn't. He retreated then, Bessett. Now, Brennan. Slaven flicking it on, flags up, Kernahan offside. Alan Kernahan, who is a very versatile player and has indeed performed on many occasions as a striker for Middlesbrough. So he was in a familiar role then, but he was offside. Great excitement here in this Wembley final. Chelsea leading, but Middlesbrough have had opportunities to have scored themselves. A quarter of an hour of the first half remaining. Kernahan. Good play by Parkinson. Proctor to Brennan. Using the whole width of the park here. Now Davenport. Cooper have gone outside him. Montcal with a very positive header, and he really does get some distance on his headers. And he's a player who's impressed me immensely, Kenneth Montcal, the Dutch defender. Dorigo. Dury. Good tackle there. Parkinson timing it perfectly. Just to bring you briefly the news of the test match over at the West Indies. No play so far. The start has been delayed. England, of course, in a very strong position, but they can't get on with it at the moment. And it's Chelsea who are in the stronger position. I wouldn't say it's that strong yet. It's certainly the healthier position in this Zenith final. The only goal so far scored by Tony Dorigo. And there are, that's the view that Stephen Pears will have, and he will be so anxious that the wall is right after the earlier one that beat him. He's prancing up and down his goal line like a scalded cat. Dorigo is there again. Chipping it through, and this time he's held on. A sigh of relief, I'm sure, then, from Stephen Pears. Not really hit so hard this time, curled through by Dorigo. And he made sure he saved that one okay, Ron?
Yeah, he had much more time to get a sighting in, and as you say, it was more or less a little dolly chip as opposed to a... In fairness to Dorigo's goal, it was a fairly well-struck, driven, swerving shot. A lot of pace on it.
Kevin Wilson almost found Dixon there. He still might. In towards Dixon again. He's turned free, and he was using his arms then to gain an unfair advantage. The free kick to Middlesbrough. But we really can't allow this man an inch of room. 18 goals this season from Kerry Dixon. Well, he's just had a little spell when he hasn't scored one. So he'll be aiming to put that right today, as well as scoring his first Wembley goal. Proctor. Trying to shake off Bumstead, who's sticking with him. Proctor again. Here's Ripley. All given away then. It was a careless pass by Brennan. And Coleman is then before Dixon. Parkinson. Off goes Ripley. Policed through by Dorigo. Ripley with few opportunities to show his pace as yet. McGee. Beaten low by Bumstead. And that was a late challenge then by Parkinson, which may well earn him the yellow card. Yes, it's going to be a booking, I think, for Parkinson. It was a bit late then, Ron.
A bit late? I don't think he's arrived yet, has he? You're talking about Ripley, and as we saw against Aston Villa in the semi-final, he was the main threat, I felt, for Middlesbrough. He's got a little bit of a problem today because a lot of his best work is done down the right wing. He's a better player playing through the middle, working out towards the right-hand side of the field. But of course, he's going to come against Dorigo today, who's probably as quick, if not quicker, than him. So he has got a little bit of a problem in making those penetrating runs behind the left-back area.
And it's Tony Dorigo's team who are leading here. There he is, scorer of that Chelsea goal. Former Aston Villa defender. And now very much a part of this successful Chelsea team who turned things around in the last couple of years when they were relegated at the expense of Middlesbrough. To stay with the play for a moment. It's Bumstead to Nicholas. Davenport. But when they were relegated that day, Bobby Campbell went back into the dressing room after the overall defeat by Middlesbrough and said, that is the first day of our comeback. And so it's proved. And Bobby Campbell has inspired his team not only to promotion, but also to 5th place in the First Division. And of course, led them to this Wembley final. And we promised Bobby Campbell we'll try and show you a shot of his mum somewhere. Up there in the stand, 86 years old, and she never really leaves Liverpool apart from going to Lourdes. Davenport. 10 minutes of the first half to go. Brennan to Proctor. Ripley with Montcow, who towered above him. He does look a good defender, Montcow, Ron, doesn't he?
Yes, I think both him and Erland Johnson have settled in very well to the English way of playing. He was particularly suited. He was one that the sweeper system did favour very much, probably because in Holland, you know, he'd have been well used to that way of playing. But now in playing basically in the normal flat back four, he does okay.
Davenport. Here's Slaven. Out of play. It's a throw to Chelsea. Slaven just tangling there with Gareth Hall, and he's going to get a ticking off too from Roger Milford.
Actually, that's about the third Middlesbrough player. I think I saw Brennan just earlier have a little bit of an altercation with Gareth Hall. Fiery little Welshman who believes in making his physical presence and making an impact on the game that way sometimes. But as you've said, has deservedly won his place in the Chelsea side and done very well. A gritty little performer.
And obviously determined to hold on to it. It's Colin Todd wondering if his team can find an equaliser before half-time. At the moment, they have some defending to do. Nicholas to Dorigo, just managed to keep his feet, but not before McGee came sliding in with the tackle. Moncau finding Hall. Kernahan. Hall can try again. Here's Brennan. Now for Ripley, who's giving it away to Moncau. That was clumsy. Dorigo. Nicholas from Moncau. Chelsea spraying their passes around here. Dorigo. Dixon had gone down the middle. Shouldered it well too. Fury. Cross it was from Dixon. I think the canister was in there. Nicholas. Good covering defensive play though by Brennan. Very quickly closed down. Mark Brennan, who scored a cracking goal in the week at Plymouth, and of course also scored that dramatic late winner at Villa Park in the area final. But this is Wilson for Chelsea, and is that the corner conceded? Yes, it is.
Yes, at times, Peter, Middlesbrough having the same problems Crystal Palace had in the semi-final. They can't deal with Dixon in the air.
And not only do they have Dixon to contend with on this corner, but also Moncau, who's come up, and Erland Johnsen. Moncau on the near post. This has gone. Free kick to Middlesbrough. And Middlesbrough have certainly had their share of the play in the first half. Trailing, for the moment anyway, by a goal to nil. The goal from Tony Dorigo. Hall. Plenty of time for Moncau, opting to come forward himself. Not so Johnsen. Dixon going on. Coleman with a very important header. Here's McGee. There really is a wave of excitement around the ground. Whenever Kerry Dixon threatens up front for Chelsea, he's so sharp around the penalty area. 5 minutes of the first half remaining. Johnsen. Here's Davenport, finding Slaven, has he? It is he, but no, it was Johnsen who came thundering across. Now, Brennan. Here's Kernahan. Too long for McGee. And Chelsea's defence, again, dealing confidently with that Middlesbrough attack and getting one underway themselves with Dixon. And Coleman just managing to hold it back. He's got a real job on though, Simon Coleman, keeping a tight rein on Kerry Dixon. Ball won't go, and perhaps couldn't have reached it anyway, but here's Davenport now. He's got Slaven in the middle, and Ripley. And it was Moncau who hit away with Besant beaten. The goalkeeper was a little stranded then, and it was Moncau who came to the rescue.
Very much so. Just thinking to myself there, it's about time Peter Davenport started doing some of his best work higher up the pitch. He's been neat and tidy in the middle third of the pitch or even in defensive areas, but that's the first time he's really picked up the ball and run at them, and you can see there what a threat he can be.
And the cross took out the goalkeeper, Dave Besant, but Moncau was able to head it away for the corner. Wilson's header. Back in from Proctor, away by Hall, but it's gone straight to Coleman, who miscued. He sliced his shot, but he's got a corner that was deflected.
I think there's another example, Peter. I don't honestly feel that the Chelsea defence is over-comfortable when they're put under pressure today.
Well, they're certainly under pressure here, with 3 minutes of the first half left. Here's the corner. Kernahan couldn't quite climb to meet it. Proctor in there with a header. Cooper having to steer it all the way back to Stephen Pears. Parkinson now. Middlesbrough hoping to finish the first half with a goal. And they've certainly had their moments in the first 45 minutes. 43 minutes to be exact, there are still 2 to go. Davenport, here's McGee. In towards Ripley, who turned well. Slaven to Brennan. Proctor withstood the challenge of McAllister, but he was happy to clear anywhere. And perhaps a little more coolness was called for. McGee, I think, to pick up Davenport, and he has too. He has Slaven inside him. 4 players arriving in the middle. One of them was Brennan. But it's a good spell this for Middlesbrough, Ron.
Very much so, and it's all sparked out from the lad we were talking about earlier, playing on the left-hand side, Davenport. Every time he gets the ball, he's capable of opening up things. It's just whether mentally he wants to take this game by the scruff of the neck. He could get Middlesbrough back into the game. He's good enough to.
Come on, Boro is the roar now from the Middlesbrough supporters. Pushing them by Gordon Bury, so a free kick to Middlesbrough, who are taking the game to Chelsea. Coleman taking the free kick. Finds Cooper. Ripley goes down, it's a free kick, a foul by Johnson. We're now into the last minute of the first half. It's Chelsea's turn to pull everybody back. Parkinson, we've seen from free kicks earlier in the season, he's been a pretty venomous shot. Brennan is there too, and Proctor. And they've set Kernahan forward. And it's wasted by Brennan. Not quite sure what he was thinking of there.
I've got to believe he miscued that and meant to just pull it in. There was, I think it was Kernahan was coming on a run across the box, just try to put it into Kernahan's run and has miscued it. I can't believe he honestly thought Besant would be caught napping with that.
Parkinson having to chase here. Only a few seconds remaining then in the first half.
But I found that a little bit interesting. That would be encouraging to me if I was Colin Todd. The very fact that every time they do apply pressure, Middlesbrough, they're not comfortable. The Chelsea defence certainly isn't comfortable when there's pressure against them. Whether that's due to the fact that the central defence have played for a big part of the season with a sweeper behind them.
Off Hall for the throw to Middlesbrough. Cooper taking the throw. Davenport trying to create something for Middlesbrough. And the free kick is given to Chelsea. So it looks as if they're going into the half-time break with a 1-goal lead. Chelsea, unless something rather dramatic happens in the last few seconds. And we hope soon to hear the views of Tony Mowbray, the Middlesbrough captain, out through injury today. Watching from the sidelines. Another long kick from Besant. Kernahan cuts it out. Did well there. We've now played a minute of time, added on for stoppages. As McGee is clattered, but it's a Chelsea throw. Kevin Wilson winning the ball back fairly. Wilson to Dorigo, the goal scorer. Nicholas. His time for Parkinson. And he's mishit that one. Straight to Hall. But Chelsea haven't posed so much of a threat, really, since scoring that first goal. Kernahan, a chance to come forward now. It's given away, though, to Nicholas. And here's the quick counter-attack with Dury. Nicholas showed too much of that to Brennan. We've now had 2 minutes of injury time. Off goes Ripley. Now will he take on Moncau here? Driven in towards Slaven. He's controlled it well. Couldn't keep it down though. And it was positive play by Middlesbrough.
Very much so, I would say, on the balance of play in the first half. They've probably had more occasions when they might have scored than Chelsea had. They'll consider themselves a little bit unfortunate to be 1 down at half-time. That's the mark of Bernie Slavin's quick reaction.
And there is a whistle from Roger Milford to end the first half. Appreciative applause ringing out around Wembley. Tony Dorigo with the only goal. So Chelsea leading by 1-0, but really Middlesbrough have had opportunities and they are very much in contention in this game. And I think Colin Todd will be telling them that at half-time that they really have every chance of coming back and who knows, perhaps still winning this Zenith Cup final. Chelsea with the goal then from Dorigo, the free kick that Stephen Pears couldn't keep out. But Chelsea, Ron, haven't really built on that, have they?
No, I mean, Dorigo, strangely enough, whether young McGee's keeping him a little bit quiet there, Dorigo really hasn't penetrated like he normally does. He's played a little bit safe, and ironically enough, the first time he's really come into an attacking position was to hit a set play, and it's been enough to separate the sides at the moment.
So what do you think Bobby Campbell will be saying to his team now?
I think Bobby Campbell will try and get the game going forward more. I think he will be happier when Dixon and Wilson and people like that are being given a better service, are being given more pressure balls into the penalty box. I don't think you would be entirely happy having to defend 45 minutes to try and defend a 1-0 lead.
Well, there's Tony Mowbray, the man who's missing out on the final. Let's hear what he's got to say on the first half, talking with Matt Lorenzo. Matt?
Tony, what did you think of that half?
Entertaining. I think both sides had a few chances. We had a few flashing across in front of the goal, just begging for a touch, wouldn't go in. Obviously, Tony Dorigo was a great finish from where I was sitting. He's always capable of doing something like that, Tony Dorigo, great left foot. But we're starting to get Peter Davenport in the game last quarter of an hour, and he's put a few useful balls over. With Bernie in there, we're always likely to nick one, so we're hopeful.
It was some consolation for you to be able to go out with the team, was it, or not really enough?
Well, obviously I'd like to be out there playing and doing my bit, but it was a great gesture, I think, by the new manager, Mr. Colin Todd, and I mean, I appreciate that. I said in the papers recently I'd be a bit embarrassed to do it, but he asked me again today, and I mean, I was pleased to do it. I was very proud to do it, and yeah, hope we can just finish it off now for us.
How do you reckon it'll go after the break?
Well, that's it. I mean, likes of Bernie in the team would always like, you just need half a chance and he'll stick it away. And as I say, we've got Peter into the game last quarter of an hour, so hopefully he'll keep providing half a chance and could turn everything around.
Thanks very much, Tony.
Matt Lorenzo with Tony Mowbray, the Middlesbrough skipper who misses the game. We'll take a break, but before we go, just to remind you, Middlesbrough had to come from behind against Aston Villa to get here. They did it. Can they do it again today? See you in a minute to find out.
Thursday at 8, things get a little hot under the collar.
I'm looking for a woman. I love her.
Good heavens.
It surprised me a bit if his boss were a tad bit upset with us.
Are you suggesting we drop this case because he's a priest?
Well, I hate to see this office filled with locusts.
Divine Entertainment. Moonlighting Thursday at 8 on Sky One.
If you imagined having a home computer would be glum, you'll be glad to see the Commodore Amiga 500, which does arcade-quality games. You can compose a symphony, or you can plan a new garden. The Amiga 500 could make all the difference to a child's education. So don't imagine having a home computer would be glum.
When something's this enjoyable, why hold back? If it's delicious and light, it's delight.
The Formula One season has begun, and Eurosport, the #1 motorsports channel, is ready to go to the Brazilian Grand Prix. Live from Sao Paulo, in association with Longines. Weave the whole of the race, from the grid to the checkered flag. All the drama, all the excitement. Be there at the start. The Brazilian Grand Prix, today at 5:30, 4:30 UK on Eurosport.
Hello there, welcome back. Not a bad way of earning a living, is it? Wembley in the sunshine, terrific cup tie on the park, half-time, Chelsea a goal to the good. With me, Lawrie McMemory. Lawrie, overall impression of the first half from you first?
I think that Bobby Campbell and Chelsea will feel rather fortunate to be in front, but they've been patient, and it was a tremendously well-taken free kick. And as Ron pointed out, I think that apart from that, and the early scare that we're going to have a look at shortly, Stephen Pearce hasn't had a lot to do.
Right, I think we can actually have a look at the first moment in the game when Chelsea threatened very early on. Here it comes now, Lawrie.
Yeah, the trouble with goalkeepers is they get blamed for misses, but people forget things like this. He's got right across the goal and stuck his... That's a part of the art of goalkeeping, using your legs and your feet as well. And Gordon Jury strikes the ball very hard, as we've seen in the rounds leading up to this, and he didn't have a lot of time to see that. He certainly couldn't have got his hands to it, and he kept the team in the game at that stage.
Have Dixon and Jury looked just as sharp today as they were in the semi-final?
I think they're working hard, but to be fair to Middlesbrough, they're not giving them a lot of chance. I think one of the problems at the back for Middlesbrough is not that they've been effective, but I think they possibly will miss the leadership qualities of Tony Mowbray. He's only about 26, but he looks as though he's been around a long time, and he has got this ability to lift players and to take them that one step beyond what they think they're capable of doing. And that's what they need now.
Chance fell early on also to Middlesbrough. Bernie Slavin getting right into the danger area.
Well, this is one of the finds of the season, and he's very sharp in and around the box there, and we thought he'd missed a chance, but we thought he'd got his left foot round it, but we didn't give Peter Nicholas enough credit until we saw the slow motion. Nicholas is a wily old character, and he got in there and he got his foot there, but he also leant in a little bit and put the forward
like an
off
old
balance.
Professional.
Well, that's one of the differences between doing it for a living and playing in the park on a Sunday morning for the YMCA.
Now the goal took some time to come. We were saying during the game that if a Brazilian scores a goal like this, we'll say it's world class.
He puts his foot right round the far arc, and he's done well to get his hand to it there. Well, maybe he's a little bit harsh with him. If we can have a look at that again, we thought that possibly he might have been over to his right, the goalkeeper, but you see, it's gone right in the corner. The goalkeepers' union think that once they get the hand to it, it shouldn't go in the net.
Tell me about Dorigo. Many people say he should be closer than he is to a full place in the England team.
Well, he can't get much closer than breathing down the fella's neck that's in possession. I think that him and Stuart Pearce are different types altogether. Stuart Pearce is the old-fashioned type, short back and sides, legs like an elephant, If he tackles you, you'll feel it for 2 weeks. This lad is a quick, modern type of player who likes to go forward more, and he's a good quality passer of the ball. What you want is a combination of both. I think at the moment, Bobby Robson's got it right. Fullbacks should defend, first and foremost. And I think that if this lad has an area to be exposed, it is his defensive quality. And that's where Middlesbrough, funny enough, in the second half, have got to try and get Stuart Ripley, this winger with a powerful lad with tremendous pace, got to try and get him at Dorigo to examine his defensive qualities.
Maybe we'll find out after this short break what the managers have had to say at half-time. See you in a second.
Where can you see Hollywood's biggest night? For the first time, the entire Oscar ceremony live, only on Sky.
The owl and the pussycat went to sea in a beautiful coloured umbrella. They took some honey and plenty of money. Owl was such a clever fella. He took out a pension some time ago with a reputable company you probably know. Oh, Owl. What a clever fella you are. You are. What a clever fella you are.
Be wise. Float into retirement with a pension from Legal & General.
Feel a bit out of step with computers? Does all that jargon trip you up? You're not alone. But now Commodore business machines have introduced the PC Starter Pack. You get all the kit, computer, monitor, and 3 business programs to get you off on the right foot. What's more, there's a companion video to teach you everything. Step by step by step. Until you're really in the swing, there's free software support, plus free on-the-spot maintenance. The Commodore PC Starter Pack, available from selected stores and major independent retailers, or call 01 873 9800.
The superb dessert creation that is Viennetta will reach absolute perfection if you let it stand for exactly 10 minutes. But the point is, can anyone actually wait that long? Pure white ice cream, irresistibly crisp, dark layers. Viennetta from Wolves. Could you wait 10 minutes? Could anyone?
A magnificent sunny afternoon at Wembley. The rest of the world not quite so sunny, we've heard. Our other live and exclusive coverage today was supposed to be from the cricket. Port of Spain, Trinidad, West Indies against England, the 3rd day of the 3rd test, supposed to be starting about an hour ago. But unfortunately, I must tell you that the weather has intervened and they've had no play so far today. Rain falling solidly. Just to remind you, England's supposed to resume on 189 for 2, just about to establish a first innings lead. But it hasn't quite worked out that way so far. When they do resume, Messrs Gooch and Lamb will try to put England into a net balance in the test match, already leading 1-0 in the series. Back here at Wembley, Matt Lorenzo down at pitch side with a very special fan of the Middlesbrough contingent.
I'll say he's a special fan. Tappy, why are you so special?
Well, I'm not so special at all, like, I'm just the same as everybody else. I'm just trying to raise cash for the South Cleveland childcare unit.
And how did you get here then?
I walked.
How long did it take you?
10 days.
And how much money have you raised?
We don't know, we expected this 5,000, but the response from the people of Teesside has been astronomical. I think we'll go well past £5,000.
And I suppose you'll be walking back then?
You suppose wrong. Believe you me, you suppose wrong. It's far too hard.
But in a good cause, and you reckon that when you go back by train, car, whatever, you'll be going back with a cup?
Sorry?
You'll be going back with a cup this time?
Oh, without a shadow of a doubt. One goal to Chelsea, we were going to give them 2 start.
So what's the final score going to be?
The final score will beat them 3-1, without a shadow of a doubt. The fans are right behind them now. We didn't walk all this way for nothing.
None more so than you. Tappy, thanks very much.
Would have thought he deserved a place on the team coach going back north after this game. Here come the teams again. We'll rejoin our match commentators, Ron Atkinson and first Peter Brackley as Boro take the field again.
Thank you, Paul. And we were certainly enjoying the thoughts and comments of our friend there from Middlesbrough, who's walked all the way down here. And I reckon he'll walk back if they win the trophy. But he was certainly confident enough, and Middlesbrough have come out before Chelsea, so perhaps that's a good psychological boost for them. They've come out looking in good heart, and they certainly have plenty of encouragement to derive from the first half, when they had chances to have equalised and indeed to have scored before Chelsea did. Well, Tony Mowbray is down there with Matt Lorenzo now, so let's see what Tony thinks is going to happen in the second half.
Tony Mowbray, you've been in the dressing room. What's the atmosphere like?
Still one of self-belief. I think we can do it. We've got a few good chances. Hoping, as I said before, we just get half a chance and get the fans going, give them something to shout about, and we can go on to win it, hopefully.
What did Colin Todd have to say?
Just like I said, keep it going. Let's get the ball wide to Peter Davenport. Let's take the right full back on. Let's get people arriving in the box, and let's see what comes of it.
There's been a lot of pressure on Colin over the last 3 weeks. It's a big job for him. His first cup tie is a Wembley final. How do you think he's coping?
Oh, very well. I mean, we're all here just to enjoy it, really. Same with the boss. He's just come for a good day. Told the lads no pressure, really, just enjoying themselves. If we do the right things at the right times, we'll get a result, and hopefully that'll happen this half.
What do you reckon we'll see this half?
I'm looking for a Boro 2-1 win, actually.
Good luck to you.
Thank you very
Tony.
much. Cheers, man.
Well, there we are. That's the confident review from Tony Mowbray. And we're now lining up then for the start of the second half. Chelsea leading through the goal scored by this man, Tony Dorigo. Middlesbrough to kick off in the second half. It's such a memorable day for these Middlesbrough players, many of whom were born and bred in the area. And they were talking this week of the excitement that their appearance in the final has created. Indeed, Stuart Ripley was saying when he went home after the win over Aston Villa, his grandfather was in tears at Wembley awaiting Middlesbrough. Stuart Ripley, well, they could do with a goal from him now, but that's a point, Ron, to pick up there. We were saying, well, you were saying Peter Davenport could be a key man now for them.
Yes, he's got to do most of his best work in the top half of the pitch. I mean, he must be encouraged by just before half-time when he had 2 or 3 little runs at Hull and showed him a clean pair of heels and produced quality balls. Now, he's good enough to do that. He's got enough experience. It's about time he really set himself right. I owe Middlesbrough this. I owe myself this. You know, he's got great talent that hasn't always been fulfilled. He's got a big stage to perform on today.
There's no better occasion for him to do so than here now. And Middlesbrough have a throw which Colin Cooper is about to take for them. Cooper again in search of Ripley. Montcow is with him. And well, I thought that came off Ripley, but no, it's a throw to Middlesbrough. Here's Ripley now. Montcow, as ever, is with him. Ripley trying to turn Montcow. He has McAllister there too for extra company, and it's a throw to Chelsea. Montcow, there's a lot of speculation that he could be in the Dutch team for the World Cup finals, and he certainly has done his prospects no harm with his displays in recent weeks. Proctor. Here's Parkinson. Cut out by Nicholas, who's done a good steady job in midfield. Coleman. Middlesbrough looking to start the second half as they finish the first. But can they find a way to unlock this Chelsea defence? McAllister now, hoping to break for Chelsea. And it's a free kick to the First Division side. A goal to the good, scored by Tony Dorigo. But is that going to be enough to win them the Zenith Cup? Chelsea, remember, hoping to win the competition for the second time. As Wilson tries to barge his way through. Wilson again, he got a shot in, but his foot was high. And he got a knock as well in the process. But it's a goal kick to Middlesbrough. Kevin Wilson down injured, and both physios have come on. I think there's a Middlesbrough player down as well, and that is Simon Coleman. Simon Coleman, who was at Wembley a few years ago with Mansfield when they played here in the Freight Rover Trophy. Although he didn't play in the game, he was with the squad. There's Simon Coleman. In fact, I gather he pinched a seat on the team bus. He sold all his tickets to his mates or gave them away. Found he hadn't got one himself, so he nicked a seat on the bus. Kevin Wilson, he's been a revelation really for Chelsea this season. Leading scorer along with Kerry Dixon with those 18 goals. And of course, a Northern Ireland international too. And he says himself he's benefited really from having to fight for a place with Dury and Dixon. And now, of course, Bobby Campbell has resolved the situation by selecting all three. But the atmosphere really building now in this Wembley final of the Zenith Cup. Slaven for Middlesbrough. Safely through to Stephen Pears. He was at Wembley with Manchester United, in the squad anyway, back in the mid-80s, when Ron was in charge of Man United, and of course they won the FA Cup. That was the one against Everton, I think, Ron, wasn't it?
That's right, yes. He was the, in fact, in one of the earlier rounds, he came in for Gary Bailey in the, I think it was the quarter-final, no, the round previous to the quarter-final against Coventry, and had an absolute storm. It saved the penalty, and I remember him making one fantastic save with the last kick of the match from Brian Kilcline.
And he was outstanding too in the two matches against Aston Villa in the area final. Stephen Pears, and although he'll be disappointed, I'm sure Colin Todd would have encouraged him, patted him on the back at half-time and said, don't let it worry you. He got a hand to the shot from Tony DeRigo, but couldn't prevent it going in. And that goal divides the two teams. 5 minutes into the second half. Parkinson for Boro. Here's Ripley. Shackled inevitably by Mark Cowell. Well, he got away from him, but DeRigo was there covering. But they need to exploit the pace of Ripley and the skill of Davenport on the other flank.
Yes, I just wondered before very long whether they may do something. Little McGee, who's become a little bit of a favourite of ours, hasn't he, in the two games against Aston Villa and all that. He's had a relatively quiet game. Now, whether that's because he's...
Just pause here. Dixon to McAllister. Wilson and Dixon in the middle. Coleman. Very composed header. 2 for to tidy up.
As I was saying, Peter, whether or not his responsibility has been today to just try and prevent DeRigo making those overlapping runs, which he's done to a certain extent. But I think the time will be very close where we'll see Kerr coming on. And he was one of the outstanding players in the semi-final against the Villa. I just wonder whether, as the game goes on and on into the second half, whether Middlesbrough will go a little bit more attack-minded.
Yes, Kerr and Nicky Mohan, the two substitutes for Middlesbrough. Clive Wilson and David Lee on the bench for Chelsea. Ripley, there's no flag. McGee in towards Brennan. That was a good tackle by Owen Johnson initially. Mark Cowell now bringing it away. Beyond Wilson, here's Proctor. Proctor again, and there's the captain. But denied by Kerry Dixon. Mark Proctor in his second spell with Middlesbrough, and he's been around the clubs, and he played at Wembley here in the Mercantile Credit for Sheffield Wednesday a few years back. And he missed out though on the League Cup final when he was with Sunderland. He was injured. Lawrie McMemory, how do you think the second half's going now?
Well, I agree with Ron. I think that if in the next 5 or 10 minutes Middlesbrough don't make a breakthrough, they've possibly got to bring Paul Kerr on. And Chelsea are playing a patient game at the moment. But I'm a bit disappointed from a Middlesbrough point of view. They haven't controlled the midfield enough through the two marks, Mark Proctor and Mark Brennan. And I think that if they could get more control, they could possibly get Davenport in and Ripley, as we said at half-time.
Thanks, Laurie. Kernahan pursued by Gordon Dury, and has Pears kept that in? Just about. He's got the benefit of the doubt anyway. But it's a throw to Chelsea. Hoping now to find the cushion of a second goal. DeRigo, scorer of the first one. Slaven with Johnson. Kevin Wilson. Nicholas going in. Such a competitive midfield in there now. Brennan and Proctor scrapping with Buxton and Nicholas. Kernahan for Boro. And as far as Montcow, he was a little loose with his pass. Buxton then was caught by Proctor. Chelsea taking the free kick quickly. Hall. Now McAllister. Dixon. Bundled over though by Coleman.
Yeah, although he hasn't been the Kerry Dixon we know in terms of scoring and so forth, his power and his strength has always been a threat, has always caused the Middlesbrough defenders problems.
And there are problems then for Middlesbrough here. Nicholas with the free kick. Johnson and Montcow are up. And Dixon didn't reach it. It was Coleman who headed clear. Dury. That was a firm tackle then by Proctor in full view of the referee, who saw nothing wrong. Slaven. Proctor now. Can he lift Boro in the second half? Ripley. Finding Proctor a little fortuitously. And that's a good ball. Davenport. Now, he's in the clear here. He's got Cooper outside him. Put it through for McGee. Davenport onto the return pass. And that'll be a throw to Chelsea. It's a pretty lively start to the second half. And Davenport has some chance then to run at defenders. On from McAllister. Cooper's header. Here's Slaven. Tremendous support here for Middlesbrough. And also for Chelsea too. But it's the Boro fans who are really raising their voices now. Parkinson to Ripley. Proctor. A bit Davenport away to the left if they can find him. Cooper's pass, Ripley. Chelsea can't allow him to turn. Brennan. Slaven taking over. Still Slaven. Trying to drive it through unsuccessfully. And Chelsea at last clear. And there's always the problem then, the threat of the counter-attack for Chelsea with these dangerous players up front. But Colin Todd has pepped his team up. And they're very much in contention for the Zenith final. A goal down, but now attacking Chelsea. Here's Davenport. Good defending by Hall. It's Cooper with the throw. Here's Davenport. Cooper again. Now Brennan. Buxton has won it back though for Chelsea from the rather sloppy pass. Dixon. Middlesbrough back in possession again. Brennan. And he's hit the pass too long.
It's quite apparent now every time Peter Davenport gets possession how quickly Kevin McAllister backtracks on the right-hand side of the Chelsea side to try and give Gareth Hall support. Obviously, whilst Colin Todd's been saying that to give the ball to Davenport, Bobby Campbell's also made his lads aware of the fact of the threat.
Free kick to Middlesbrough. Parkinson. Here's McGee. He doesn't appear to be tiring anyway. Just 19 years old, remember, knowing McGee. But here's Dury for Chelsea. Now Kerry Dixon. 80,000 people totally immersed in this cup final, which is really bubbling now in the second half. These fans from Chelsea seeing their team ahead at the moment, but certainly that lead looks a precarious one. Arrigo and Dury organising the free kick. And look for Montcow in there. Johnson this time has stayed back. But Dixon's in there, McAllister and Wilson. Arrigo taking the kick. Here's Nicholas, now McAllister. Good turn by him. But he hasn't managed to shake off Davenport. This is Hall. Moncau. McGee did well. He was fouled in any case. And Boro have taken the free kick quickly. Ripley now. Looking to accelerate past Johnson. And the Norwegian international forced to concede the corner. But that was better than allowing Ripley a run at goal. Corner then to Middlesbrough. Brennan to take it. The two big central defenders have come up. Kernahan and Coleman. Didn't reach them. McGee. Parkinson. Brennan. Moncau missed his header for once. Slaven back across the goal. Oh, and Davenport with a dreadful miss kick. And he'll be so annoyed with himself there. In fairness, Ron, the ball really flew across the area, but all the same.
Yes, to be fair, he wouldn't have got a sighting on it till at the last minute because Bernie Slavin whipped it in so rapid. In fact, I thought Bernie Slavin had almost made himself something out of nothing there.
But Middlesbrough are beginning to get a grip on the second half. There's the effort from Slaven across the goal. And as Ron said, it really did come whipping over. A quarter of an hour gone in the second half. Chelsea 1, Middlesbrough 0, the final of the Zenith Cup. Coming to you live from Sky. And what a match Middlesbrough are making of it now. They've come here just determined to do themselves justice, and they most certainly have. Dixon though for Chelsea. Just too long for McAllister as Pears comes out. And that was almost an excellent ball for Davenport.
Peter, in all fairness, I think on balance of play, I think Middlesbrough have been the better side. I've been a little bit disappointed with Chelsea. Okay, we could safely say they may be sitting on the lead, they may be just being patient, they may be sitting behind the ball and making Middlesbrough come onto them, but they've never given the impression they're in control of the game.
Parkinson for Middlesbrough, McGee. McGee again. And that's an excellent ball through to Proctor. Moncau with the saving tackle. And Buxton was the last man. Bessett now with a cap on to shield his eyes from the bright sunlight. And the crowd basking not only in the sunshine, but also in the excitement of this cup final, which is really warming up now. Great atmosphere. And it's a free kick to Middlesbrough. Persevering here in hope of an equaliser. Paul McGee has no chance of reaching that one.
Certainly in terms of atmosphere as well, the second half, they've managed to lift the crowd. The lad at half-time was saying, the lad that walked all the way down, he was saying the fans would get right behind them. And in all fairness to the fans, that's what they've started to do now. We've started at last to have what I would call a cup final atmosphere in the place.
Parkinson. Ripley, shadowed by Moncau, who's had another very strong game at the back. Just one or two moments when he and Johnson have been at full stretch. And a very, very confident defender, Kenneth Moncau. Arrigo, scorer of the only goal. Caught then by Proctor. Free kick to Chelsea. Tony Arrigo in the England squad for the match against Brazil in the week. And Chelsea indeed have no less than 8 players in their squad on international duty in midweek. And here's one of them taking the free kick. Peter Nicholas of Chelsea and Wales. Up towards Dixon. Driven through by Bumstead. And Stephen Pear's already committed to the save, which in the end was rather more comfortable perhaps than he anticipated. Dorigo on from Bury, finding Dixon. The two linking well. Pulled in for Dury. Kernahan just managing to defy him. Of course, that's one other option, Ron, is to push Kernahan up front. They could bring on Mohan, play him at the back, and perhaps push Kernahan up.
Yeah, that's right. I just feel that if they're going to do anything, Peter, it would be to bring Kerr on. I mean, Kerr, in many ways, was the match winner against Aston Villa in the semi-final. He is an attack-minded midfield player, which is possibly something they're suffering from a little bit. Mark Proctor, Mark Brennan, very much the same type of player. Both like to play from behind the ball, whereas Kerr was once a striker. He wouldn't be afraid to go beyond the ball and get strikes in.
But here's Dixon for Chelsea. Support arriving too. McAllister's got bursting through the middle. Still Dixon. Beaten though by Cooper. Now Hall. I think Dixon got a knock in the face then as he lost out to Cooper. Indeed, Dixon holding his head. So there's a problem here for Chelsea. Moncau always looks so comfortable in possession. Very fluent player, but Kerry Dixon looking a little worried at the moment. Got a bash in the face. And there are the two subs, Paul Kerr and Nicky Mohan. 25 minutes to go, so perhaps Colin Todd is contemplating the change as he made that excellent save then. Perhaps he's coming on as goalkeeper. And there's Dixon. Let's hope it's not too serious for him. Chelsea still leading, but it's a slender lead. The goal from Tony Dorigo in the first half. A smile from Ward suggests he's okay. Kerry Dixon, who's had a tremendous career for Chelsea. He's second behind Bobby Tambling in their all-time goal-scoring list. Tambling, I think, 202, so he's well on the way to passing that. Ripley. Davenport with Hall. And Hall in the end forced to give away the corner. It's a signal for Coleman to come forward. I'm sure Kernahan too, to add their height in the penalty area. It's a very congested 18-yard box. Besant didn't make a clean catch and there was no foul. McGee. Slavin with a chance to cross it in. McGee again. Testing out Moncau in the air. He was equal to it, but this is Brennan now. Davenport. Another corner. Middlesbrough inflicting some pressure here in search of the equaliser. And they're pinning Chelsea back. A variation on the corner, not a very successful one. Driven away by Kevin Wilson. But a throw to Middlesbrough. Taken by Cooper. Here's Parkinson. Coleman. Everybody for Chelsea back in their own half at the moment. Proctor. Ripley. Good interchange of passes. Now Brennan. This is Slavin. Chelsea just sitting back, hoping to soak up this period of pressure. Slavin. They very nearly got through then. Moncau to whack it away. And Middlesbrough have to be careful. They're not caught on the break with these predatory strikers, Dury and Dixon. Slavin. But still Middlesbrough dictating the play. Davenport in towards McGee, who just managed to nudge it on. Parkinson now. Long way out. Well, he scored from long range against Everton in the FA Cup earlier in the season, but not this time. I reckon Bobby Campbell must be a bit of a worried man at the moment.
I should think he possibly is. I mean, you've got to admire Middlesbrough. They're just keeping their patience. They're playing the ball around to feet, moving the ball, and it wouldn't be a surprise to see them equalise. On the other hand, Chelsea are committed to saying, all right, we've two good front players. We'll all sit behind the ball and we'll hope that Dixon or Jury or Kevin Wilson can conjure something out of nothing for us.
Good, powerful header forward by Kernahan. The same applied, though, for Monkau. Here's Johnson. And they're getting rather animated over on the bench. Colin Todd was urging his players forward. Totally wrapped up in the occasion, Colin Todd. Alongside him, David Nish, another old Derby and England favourite. Dixon beaten in the air by Coleman. And here's McAllister. Dreadful cross from Kerry Dixon, of all people. His wish for a Wembley goal, deserting him at the moment. But Chelsea still leading from the first half strike by Tony Dorigo. "20 minutes left. Dixon on Dury with Kernahan. Dury's got away from him. Oh! Appeals for a penalty, but it was a clean save. And the referee, Roger Milford, had a good look, and he was absolutely right, in my view, anyway. And in fairness to Dury, Ron, there was no real protest from Dury.
Oh, not a cat in hell's chance. Very, very good and brave goalkeeping. And if there's any question mark about Dorigo's goal, he's atoned for it there. He certainly got Alan Kernigan out of prison there, because Alan made that. Kernigan's made this look a little weak. He's been out-muscled a bit by Dury there, but his back pass should have been stronger.
And he certainly made the save without bringing down Dury, who really toppled over his prostrate body. No protest from Dury. He accepted that decision, even if the Chelsea supporters didn't. There's a free kick here to Chelsea, taken by Nicholas. Away by Coleman. Nicholas once more. Header on was from Johnson. Safely through to Pears. McGee. This is Proctor. Proctor again, combining with Brennan and trying to find Davenport. McAllister again has got back, trying to cut out the service to Davenport. Ripley. Ushered on by Roger Milford. Parkinson, who obviously fancies a crack at goal, but he's a long way out then, Ron.
He's a long way, but he's getting closer. I think his first one was a sighter, the next one he's finding the range.
So by Wednesday, he ought to score. Not a bad effort, though, at all, then, from Gary Parkinson. And Middlesbrough very much in this game, in there fighting. Johnson just in before Brennan. And the decision in favour of Chelsea. The foul on Johnson. Big smile from the Norwegian defender. His first taste of Wembley. He was with Bayern Munich, of course, before moving to Chelsea, and he settled in extremely well. Now playing alongside Kenneth Monkau. Dixon on. Parkinson to McGee. No sign of any substitution yet from Middlesbrough. Although I think Paul Kerr has got his tracksuit bottoms off, so perhaps he's going to come on fairly soon. Slaven's pass to Cooper. Davenport trying to find some space outside him. This is Slaven now. Again, they're looking to find Davenport. Skipping past McAllister. Still Davenport. And that is the route to goal if Middlesbrough can get Davenport away down that flank. That's the way to unhinge the Chelsea defence, Ron.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, even though he's confronted by the two players then, he's got the bit between his teeth. He knows if he gets good possession, he's got the beating of the full-back. And as I say, that's important for a lad like Davenport. So, you know, he thrives on confidence.
So, Colin Todd, what's going through his mind now, I wonder? He's got plenty to say for himself, and why not? Because Middlesbrough are taking the game to Chelsea, and certainly probing very hard in the hope of snatching an equaliser. Nicholas to Moncau. Dorigo. Parkinson's header only finding Nicholas. McGee. Davenport was quickly closed down then. Wilson shrugging off one challenge, but no further progress made by him. So here's Proctor for Middlesbrough. Dorigo's first half goal beginning to look very significant. I wonder if it is going to win the Zenith Cup for Chelsea. Defenders coming out quickly for Middlesbrough, and they've called a couple of players offside, Urie and Dixon. A quarter of an hour left. Chelsea hanging on. And Lawrie McMemory, they are hanging on really, aren't they, at the moment?
Well, I think they're very well organised, Peter, and they're handling everything Middlesbrough have got. The only chink in the armour is whenever Peter Davenport gets away down that wing. And Kevin McAllister is doing a good job by sacrificing his attacking instincts, really, isn't he, to help out. And I think Colin Todd must be having the problem now that all managers have got to have. He knows the team are doing well. They've got the crowd behind them. They're not disappointing anyone, really, but he's got to get a goal from somewhere. And shall he change it or not? That's his problem.
Well, I'm sure he'll be thinking about it now. Down on the bench, Colin Todd. In the meantime, it's a throw to Middlesbrough. A consultation there between two Old England favourites, David Nish and Colin Todd. Brennan's pass, trying to send Ripley on his way. Proctor. Now for Parkinson. Again, Middlesbrough spreading the play. McGee here. Disappointing ball in, though. Easily taken by Dave Besant. And McGee perhaps will be the man to come off if Middlesbrough make this change. But not for the moment, Ron, anyway. Kernahan to Parkinson. Davenport in some space here. Slaven has gone outside him, and the flag's up for offside. Much to the dismay of the Middlesbrough players and their supporters. But the flag was instinctively raised.
Yes, a little bit of an unnecessary run by Bernie Slaven there. We all like to see movement off the ball, but I would be a bit inclined every time Davenport's got the ball is to say leave him. Just leave him with the ball, leave him against the number 2. And for the likes of Bernie Slaven and Ripley, just take up box positions for when Davenport produces a cross or a pass into the box. That's one thing they have been light on, is getting enough bodies into the penalty box.
Chelsea edging their way towards winning the Zenith Cup. But it's certainly far from over yet. Cooper taking the throw then for Middlesbrough. We've had a lot of possession, especially in the second half, but still haven't found a way to go. Nicholas on from Hall. Dixon's header on, but no support with him. And Middlesbrough can start all over again. McGee. Caught in by Wilson. Illegally, so free kick to Barrett. Kernahan now. Ripley, they're appealing for offside, and it's given. Dave Shatwell and John Hilditch, the two linesmen today. Dury's header. Straight to Cooper. Here's Bumstead finding McAllister. There are now 11 minutes of this Zenith Cup final remaining. Slaven. Here's Kernahan. Again, Middlesbrough looking to step up the gear, step up the pace here. And the linesman is flagging, and Roger Milford has overruled him. The Middlesbrough players complaining. I think the linesman deciding there that Montcow had committed a foul, and the referee didn't agree. So for once, referee and linesman not in total accord. Dixon with Coleman. And how well he's played at the back, Simon Coleman. A player of enormous potential, signed to replace Gary Pallister now at Old Trafford. Pallister, incidentally, here today working for local radio up on Teesside, sharing in Middlesbrough's Day of Glory. And it is a day of glory, whatever the result. They've done so well to get here, Middlesbrough, for the first time in the club's history, remember, contesting a Wembley final. Ten minutes to go.
When you say they've done well, Peter, as I say, in my book, they've been the best side, which I must admit, I came here expecting to see Chelsea have a very, very comfortable result. I really thought they would win fairly comfortably, to be fair. But as I say in my book, I made Middlesbrough the better side.
Comfortable, it certainly hasn't been for Chelsea, but they are still... There's one goal ahead, scored by Tony Dorigo in the first half. Dixon was again out-jumped. This time, though, he was ahead of Kernahan. Dixon from Parkinson's mistake. And Pears clinging on. Bumstead to Hall. The second goal could clinch it for Chelsea. McAllister. Dury's in the middle. Dixon's arriving too, and Wilson. McAllister's cross, away by Kernahan. Here's Wilson. Now Dorigo. Nicholas. Kevin Wilson. Parkinson. Well, Ron Atkinson, you have the honour today of selecting the man of the match. You can't have the bugler because we haven't seen him, so I'll ask you who you think you might be considering at this stage.
Well, I think the lad that's just played that back pass again to the keeper, Parkinson's, must be in the runners. He's been nice and calm. Here he's on the ball now. He hasn't been overawed by the occasion. He's used the ball very, very well, defended well. Davenport's been arguably the most inventive player on the field.
And they could do with some of his imagination now, could Middlesbrough. Here's Slaven. One slip of a chance early on for Slaven when he was denied by Peter Nicholas's challenge. Proctor finding McGee. Now then for Ripley. But still Middlesbrough very much on the attack. Brennan. Here's Davenport. He was looking to take on Gareth Hall. McGee down. Brennan.
Had the feeling that was going to be a repeat of the Villa situation. It looks as if Ripley had set Brennan up, and he has got a fierce left foot, Brennan. Outstanding players, referring back to the Chelsea side. Monco, as you say, has had an excellent game. The skipper's done well for them. Nicholas has had a good game in the middle of midfield, just sitting there controlling.
And again, Lawrie made the point earlier on that although Middlesbrough are having a lot of the play, they're not creating that many chances as such, and Chelsea do look pretty organised at the back, don't they?
That's right. I think Bernie Slevin will be particularly disappointed today. It hasn't been his game. Only one situation's really fallen his way. He didn't capitalise on it, and he hasn't had one of his better games this season.
But here, perhaps maybe an opportunity now. Cooper with the free kick. Moncal missed his header, or did he get a touch? No, so it's a goal kick to Chelsea, which will eat up a few more seconds for them. They certainly haven't controlled this final by any means, Chelsea. Colin Todd's team have got to find a goal from somewhere if Chelsea's name is not to go on the cup again. Winners of the Full Members' Cup in the inaugural year back in '86. Are they on the verge now of winning it for the second time? 5-4 on the first occasion. They beat Manchester City in a thrilling final. Well, we haven't seen as many goals as that today, but we have seen a very eagerly contested game. But Middlesbrough still hoping. Arrigo's header. There are 5 minutes left now. It's Proctor. Or Parkinson, perhaps. Yes, Parkinson with the free kick for Middlesbrough. Kernahan has gone forward. Moncal away. And Brennan appealing for something. Not quite sure what. He didn't get it, whatever it was. But there's a real urgency about Middlesbrough now. Davenport, time beginning to run out for them. Good play by Proctor. It's a corner. Well, they've had fantastic support from their followers today, Middlesbrough. And they are really now making themselves heard around Wembley. Here's the corner. Dixon concedes another one. It's a time for cool heads in there among the Chelsea defenders. I shouldn't think Colin Todd's feeling too cool at the moment. Over everybody's heads. D'Arrigo. Well, partially cleared it. No, McGee. And there was Coleman up there. And safely away from Chelsea's point of view for a goal kick. Simon Coleman making his presence felt in the penalty area, but unable to direct his header onto the target, and that really has been the story in the second half. A lot of possession from Middlesbrough, but they haven't extended Chelsea where it's mattered most. Parkinson guiding it back. Pears for another long kick upfield. Trying to find Ripley. McGee, beaten though by Nicholas. The captain's role from Nicholas in midfield for Chelsea. Johnson. Whistles from the Middlesbrough fans. Chelsea know they're almost there. D'Arrigo. On then from Nicholas. Kernahan was giving it away. Here's Dixon. Wilson had made the run. Dixon didn't find him. There are now just 2 minutes left in this final of the Zenith Cup. Bobby Campbell's team with one hand on the trophy. Coleman forward. Proctor now. Here's McGee. And towards Ripley. And here's Davenport. No, Hall in there first. And Chelsea, as the sun shines really strongly now around Wembley, can come away. Not too far though. Here's Proctor. Ripley chasing. Johnson. Cooper. Bobby Campbell can't sit down any longer. Kevin Wilson. We're now into the last minute. Chelsea 1, Middlesbrough 0. Kernahan. It wasn't a very decisive clearance. Cooper to Proctor. McGee. Middlesbrough still striving. In my word, they've given Chelsea a battle here. Dorigo straight to Kernahan. Now Slaven. Brennan. Montcal. But here's Kernahan for Middlesbrough. One last chance perhaps. We're now into time added on for stoppages. Are we in for a dramatic finish here, or will Chelsea hold on? Jury's header. Now it's the counter-attack. McAllister, a last-ditch tackle from Kernahan. Coleman now. Slaven in for Davenport. He has Montcal with him, and he's beaten then by Montcal. What a terrific tackle that was, Rob.
It was a brilliant tackle. For all the good work he's done today, Peter Davenport, I think that was the best chance to create an equaliser. I think if it had stayed strong there, Middlesbrough may very well have found themselves going into extra time.
Parkinson to McGee. Slaven's in the middle. Oh, it was too long for him. Arriving on the end, well, he hoped on the end of the cross. Ernie Slaven hangs his head, looking a little dejected now. But they can hold their heads high at the finish, Middlesbrough, because they really have given a contest here to Chelsea. Ron, just to name your man of the match, it's Peter Nicholas, I think.
Well, nobody's done more to win the trophy than the guy that's going to lift it. I think he's played a first-class skipper's part, sitting in midfield and controlling the flow of the game.
Jury for Chelsea. Only a few seconds left now. And he's got away from Parkinson. He had Kerry Dixon inside him and chose to go the other way. Roger Milford has looked at the watch. Gareth Hall. That's out of play. And it's all over. And Chelsea have done it. Or have they? I don't think the referee has blown the final whistle. Everyone in the ground thought he had. He probably did himself, but he hasn't. We're still going on here. We've now had 2 minutes of time added on, and that's it this time. The final whistle blown by Roger Milford. And as Chelsea celebrate, one can only praise to the fight they've been given here by Middlesbrough. There's the man whose goal settled it. Tony Dorigo scored in the first half. But Middlesbrough fought back. They had chances, but Montcal, superb at the back for Chelsea, kept them well organised, with Nicholas running things in midfield, and Chelsea held on. But it has been a day for Middlesbrough to cherish, whatever the outcome. That was always going to be the case. Their first appearance in a Wembley final. And while Chelsea have won the cup, Middlesbrough have every reason to remember this day with a great deal of pride. They're all looking a bit sad now, in contrast to the elation of the Chelsea players. There's young Owen McGee, just 19, playing in a Wembley final, being consoled there by players all around him. A lot of sporting handshakes from the crowd, from the players, and it's been that kind of day, really. Gordon Jury there with Bobby Campbell. Bobby Campbell, his first experience of a Wembley final as a coach or as a player, and his team have won the Zenith Cup for him. But just look at the reaction here of the Middlesbrough supporters. You wouldn't think they'd lost. Gareth Hall getting a hug of delight then from Bobby Campbell. One of the nice guys in the game, Bobby Campbell, and he fully deserves the success of his team. He's looking very calm, and I bet the old heart's pounding down there. So the Middlesbrough players are the first up those famous steps, led up by their captain on the day, Mark Proctor, standing in for the injured Tony Mowbray. And they're getting a great reception from the crowd. The guest of honour, Joe Solari, president of Zenith Data Systems Europe. And he'll be handing over the cup very shortly to Peter Nicholas of Chelsea, but in the meantime, let's just share here the congratulations to Middlesbrough for the part they've played. Mark Proctor leading his players along. Bobby Campbell, I would imagine, looking up to see if he can see his old mum up in the crowd there somewhere. 86 years old. Where is she, he's saying? She said she'd come. So down the steps come the Middlesbrough players as Chelsea prepare to receive the Zenith Cup. Dave Bessant not called on all that often to make any spectacular saves today, but he nonetheless did a good, sound, efficient job in goal. And Peter Nicholas, Ron Atkinson's choice for the Man of the Match award, and I'd go along with that too. Leading his team by example. Behind him, Dave Bessant, and Kevin McAllister. It's a long walk up those steps, but when you've a cup to receive, it's very worthwhile. A big broad grin from Peter Nicholas. He's played here for Wales, but never before in a Wembley final, and he holds aloft the Zenith Cup. Peter Nicholas, the captain of Chelsea. Winners of this trophy for the second time, the full Members' Cup it was known as back in '86. Now they've triumphed again. There's Kevin McAllister getting his chance to hold it. Gordon Jury, only recently back from injury, lasting the full 90 minutes. Tony Dorigo, the goal scorer, Kevin Wilson and Kerry Dixon. Kenneth Montcal, I bet he relished his Wembley appearance today, the Dutch under-21 international. Quite outstanding at the back for Chelsea. Handshakes all round. As Peter Nicholas leads the Chelsea players down the steps, and Middlesbrough are going to set off too on a lap of honour themselves, and they are getting a tremendous reception too from the Chelsea fans, and that's great to see. What a sporting gesture then from the Chelsea fans backed behind the goal, as Middlesbrough now receive the acclaim of their own supporters. Peter Nicholas will be leading his players around, receiving the Man of the Match award too. Well done, Peter Nicholas. Grand old Cap Vader down the years. For Arsenal, of course, Aberdeen, his last club. Luton he played for. And Crystal Palace too, one of the teams that Chelsea beat en route to the final. one young fan. I'm not sure who he supports. But he didn't look too pleased with your choice of Man of the Match award, so perhaps he didn't agree with that, Ron. Perhaps he's a Middlesbrough supporter.
It's always nice, isn't it, at the end of a match, to see the man that's, in my book, has done the most to it, lifting the trophy. I must admit, I thought it was a suspect area before the game, Chelsea's midfield. But he sat in the hole, he's played it well, he's not really allowed the Middlesbrough midfield players to dominate the game at all. And he's led by example, which is the way a skipper should lead.
And here, posing then for the photographers, the Chelsea players. Those are the pictures you'll see in your newspapers tomorrow morning. Kenneth Monkow has a wig on, a blonde wig, which I'm sure isn't his. Nicholas is wearing it now. So high jinks among the Chelsea players, celebrating their victory here. And what a revival it's been by Chelsea in the past 2 years. Things looking so bleak for them when they were relegated down into the second division, but they've come back with a vengeance, winning the second division by a storm, and now fifth in the first division, and here winners of the Zenith Cup. So the Chelsea fans now greeting their players. And although perhaps Chelsea didn't win it quite in the style they'd hoped to, nonetheless, they have won the Zenith Cup with a performance that was enough to deny the challenge of Middlesbrough. Gareth Hall milking the occasion, Kevin McAllister. Well, after the break, we'll have the reaction from some of the participants in this final here today. So stay with us, we're back in a couple of minutes' time.
He endured 8 years in jail, but can he survive back on the streets?
Thompson shows up in town, the next day she turns up dead.
Well, wait a minute, I agree that he was there, but I don't believe he killed her.
Was he framed for murder?
Oh, come on, another frame-up. That would make him the patsy of the decade.
That's right, and it would make somebody else a multiple killer.
Friday at 9, Break Out with Hunter.
Open up, police!
Here on Sky One.
Friday the 5th. Mum escaped for the day, so Dad was held prisoner.
Where's Daddy?
While I got the Finders crispy pancakes, Dad put on the peas. Great. Chicken and mushroom. Wicked. And mince beef. I really got stuck in. So did Dad.
With Finders crispy pancakes, every day's got a different taste.
It took Dad hours to rock her to sleep.
Have a break. Have a Kit Kat. Tonight,
All right, buddy, let's go.
the cops prepare for the Super Bowl.
If we take off all the hookers and all the crack cocaine dealers, we can make the streets a little bit safer for Super Bowl.
We're back in business. It's showtime. All right, let's go. Let's get them. Let's get them.
Cops, tonight, 7:30 on Sky News.
Welcome back to Wembley. As you see, whether it's an FA Cup final or a Zenith Cup final, there's nothing like winning it, and the lap of honour becomes a special moment in the career of any professional footballer. Lawrie McMemory up alongside me here. Lawrie, your overall reactions, Chelsea deserving or not?
Well done, Chelsea, and well done, Bobby Campbell. Slightly lucky on the day, but they showed their experience. The longer the game went, they didn't panic. They soaked up a lot of pressure, and there were very few chances, really. There was a couple of long shots from Parkinson, the full-back, and apart from that, a lot rested on Peter Davenport.
Will Boro be disappointed not to have capitalised on the amount of possession that they had?
Well, you're always disappointed if you get this far and lose, but I think the one overriding thing is that they didn't let the supporters down. There's been many an occasion, especially from the northeast, strangely enough, when the teams have got here, brought tremendous support, and they've gone home all disappointed. But the Boro fans have never stopped applauding since the end of the game, and they're really saying, look, thanks lads for giving us a great day out. You didn't let us down. We retained a lot of pride, and I've worked out the average age. It's only 24, you know, of this team, and let's hope that unlike some teams, they don't go into depression after being at Wembley, because they've got a lot to do in the league, and if they play like they did today, they should get halfway up the league. And a good reward for good managing early days by Bruce Rioch, where the young kids have come through. Very much a local flavour to that team, and some good young players have come of age, really, in the game in particular. And Ripley, I thought, was disappointing today, but remember 3 or 4 years ago, he was just starting off his career, and he's an under-21 international. All of these games are great experience for them. But the team of many nationalities in blue there, I think there's about 8 different nationalities in that team of 11, really had enough about them, and none more so than the two we're looking at there now.
Right, Peter Nicholas on the left-hand side, the great old professional, with his first winning final at Wembley, and the man on the right got the goal for him. Chelsea's England fullback Tony Dorigo. Matt Lorenzo's with them.
Peter Nicholas and Tony Dorigo, two men with something special to celebrate here. Peter, man of the match, how do you feel about that award?
Very pleased, but overall I think all the lads played well, but we're very pleased to win the cup.
Tony Dorigo, a great goal. How did it feel when that one went in?
Oh, it was fantastic. I mean, I've dreamt of something like this ever since I was in Australia, and to come over and actually score the winner at Wembley is fantastic.
Is that something you've been working on?
I take a lot of the free kicks, and I score 1 or 2, but this one was one of the better ones.
You normally it's a wall, don't you?
Yeah, that's the one. The shins.
Over the years, this competition's got a lot of criticism for not being anywhere near as big as the other 2 Wembley finals. Is that how you feel about it?
Oh, not at all. You know, you could tell by the 2 sets of fans here today. It was fantastic, great atmosphere. Pity it wasn't a bit more entertaining game and actually on the pitch, but at the end of the day, it's about winning the cup, and we did it.
What about a word for Middlesbrough? Did they play as well as you expected them to?
I think they played a lot better. They seem to be putting their best performances in for the cup, and we found it difficult in the second half, but we battled on well, and they played well, but we beat them.
What does this result mean to Chelsea? Presumably it puts the icing on what might not have been a very good season.
Yes, we had a bad December. I don't think we won a game in December, but I say we've kind of at the end of the season now, towards the end, and we won this ZDS Cup. We're very pleased, and it's icing on the cake for the season for us.
What effect do you think this win will have on the rest of your season, Tony?
That's difficult to say, because we are in a position where we can't go down or can't really challenge for anything. But hopefully I think this will lift us for the last few, and the fans will be great to us, and we'll try and put on some performances for them.
What do you think it means to the fans to win at Wembley?
I think it's fantastic. I think you could tell by the turnout today, and as I say, players are very pleased for ourselves and for the fans, of course.
The odd glass of champagne this evening?
We'll have 1 or 2, I think.
Just 1 or 2, eh?
Yeah, well,
yeah,
maybe,
go on, then.
Maybe 3 or 4.
All
right,
Enjoy them.
Cheers. Cheers. Imagine that. Professional footballers having a drink after winning at Wembley, can you?
Well, I'll tell you what, the manager won't, because he doesn't touch alcohol. Robert Campbell. Now, there's a surprise for you.
Good for Bobby to get his name at Wembley the first
Bobby
time.
Campbell has been around the game a long time, popular, always rated as a good coach. He's now earned these spurs as a good manager by getting promotion last year, keeping his chairman quiet and in his place, bringing a lot of respectability back to the club, and now joining the elite band of Wembley winners. Very popular man, Bobby, and a good family man, and we're all delighted for him.
It's no part of the day, Lawrie, to do anybody down whatsoever, but there was a suggestion that Colin Todd, the other manager, could have maybe changed the tactics of the game a little earlier.
I think Colin was sitting there thinking as a coach. He can't think as a manager yet, because he's only got I don't know what his title is, but he only took over in charge about 2 weeks ago, and that is the difference. But the manager has to make decisions, and I think that both Ron and I were hinting that Middlesbrough had done everything they could, and it wasn't making any difference. And so what do? You've got to draw on your substitutes, especially when you've got a lad who, in this particular competition, has proved that he's good enough this season. I didn't think they got enough from the right-hand side of the team. Stuart Ripley, to me, is always more effective when he plays wide on the right and comes in, when he can get against one defender, 1 against 1. Down the middle, they were very well marshalled with Peter Nicholas and the 2 foreign players who are excellent buys for Chelsea. And I think if he'd gone out wide, he might have got more room. But because he didn't do that, well, then I think young McGee, who had an excellent game, he's had a great season, wouldn't have been missed if he'd been taken off, because he was no more than workmanlike, really. But I think if Kerr had come on, he might have given us, given Middlesbrough in particular, that much more going forward, and who knows what might have happened if they'd been able to stretch Chelsea a little bit more.
In defence of Colin Todd, he's already without first-choice players who are either cup-tied or injured, so yes. He's gone into this game, you know, a little stretch from him. They've had I think this reflects in the league position. They've had a disastrous season with injuries. They've had about 10 major operations to players, you know, not just little strains. And they've had breaks. They've got Putney out. They've got their inspirational captain out. I think they've done exceptionally well to get this far, but they've got to pick it up in the league when they get home. They did actually get one really good chance near the end of the game, didn't they, as they piled on
this. I remember Ron saying that Peter Davenport was becoming more and more dangerous, and here was a chance where they actually got him right in a killing position, and he wasn't strong enough there. His previous opportunities, he'd been wider than that, more towards the corner flag, where if he beat his man, he then had to provide for someone else. But on that occasion, if he'd been stronger there into the 6-yard box, if he checked and come back, he was in with a chance of having a shot. And I think that was near the end, and that chance has vanished. Too much was put on his shoulders, to be fair, but he's a senior player, he's a national player, and unfortunately for him, he stumbled a little bit. He wasn't strong enough there. Very quickly on Ken Munker, who made that interception there, a Dutch World Cup player in the making. I can understand Ron saying that Peter Nicholas, it was hard to pick out an outstanding man, and so he picked the captain. But for me, Munker was outstanding today, didn't do his chances any harm. I think there's a few Dutch selectors here, and he's only 24, and what a buy for £100,000. He'll be a squad player, but there are a few good players in Holland, and we'll probably see that when in the early days of the World Cup. OK, Lawrie, it's been a pleasure to have you as my guest up here in the studio, and to everybody who watched at home, thanks very much indeed for being with us. A lot of disappointed Middlesbrough fans are wending their way north now, but they've made a fantastic contribution to a thoroughly sporting day here on Sky. Who knows, maybe they'll be back again, maybe they can survive in Division 2. Lots of cricket coming up, and also the Brazilian Formula 1 Grand Prix on Sky. From Wembley, goodbye, and we'll see you soon with the Leyland DAF Cup final.
Thursday at 8, things get a little hot under the collar.